Out of Gaza City, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from Israel's defense minister, who says there's pressure on them, but that they can't stop fighting until Hamas is defeated and the hostages are returned. Today marks 1 month since Hamas slaughtered 1,400 people in Israel and took more than 200 hostages, including Doris Lieber's son.
I know that he was shot. I don't know anything.
She says every day feels like an eternity. Hostage family members are visiting Capitol Hill, where aid for Israel remains in limbo after the House passed a bill for only aid to Israel. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
What our point has been and what we are requesting, urging the White House and the Senate Democrats to do is to complete that package and get it over the line so that we can get Israel the support and assistance it needs.
But Democrats are pushing the president's larger package, including aid for Ukraine, and say the standalone Israel bill, which includes cuts to IRS funding, is dead on arrival in the Senate. A Meta whistleblower at a Senate hearing on the teen mental health crisis.
Arturo Bejar, once a Facebook engineering director and later a contractor at Meta, left 2 years ago. But before he did, he said he personally warned Mark Zuckerberg and other executives about the harm happening to teens. His own 13-year-old daughter, he said, had received unwanted sexual advances on Instagram.
Their expressed caring about teens and safety and protecting children was all a charade, a mockery. They already had the evidence that you were bringing to their attention. They knew about it, and they disregarded it, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He said Meta's own survey from 2 years ago found 1 in 8 13 to 15-year-olds on Insta said they'd received unwanted sexual advances in the prior 7 days.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, the Facebook and Instagram parent company recently sued by 41 states plus D.C., has highlighted efforts to safeguard teens. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
SimpliSafe was named the best home security of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. But we don't do what we do for the accolades. We do it to protect you and everything you love. Our advanced sensors and HD cameras are powered by 24/7 professional monitoring for fast emergency response. Visit simplysafe.com/radio to get 50% off any new system today. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The jackets stay in the closet on this Tuesday afternoon. Keep them in there on Wednesday. Partly sunny skies today. It's a warm afternoon, 79 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, only going down to 60 degrees. Wednesday, sunny, windy, and warm near 80. Here comes cool front Wednesday night, partly cloudy, some showers, 52. And Thursday, partly sunny skies, but some rain showers around Thursday and 59. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of
Our goal at Neovitin is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the Neovitin monthly subscription. Just go to neovitin.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your Neovitin multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each Neovitin multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with Neovitin multivitamins. Sign up for a Neovitin subscription today at neovitin.com.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still a bit scary. Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
She calls him a bully. She says he's going to bring out racial slurs. He's going to say things today and taunt her. Well, Miss James, you taunted him. Before you came into office, before you saw one record, one statement of financial condition, you taunted him. You said his administration was too male and too pale. Those are her words. She said that she and Michael Cohen were going to be his biggest nightmare. Well, I have some news for you, Miss James. Michael Cohen folded, lied, and crumbled. Your star witness, along with all the DAs and corrupt AGs, need to be paying attention to what happens when you let us take the stand. When you let my client speak the truth, and the judge can tell me to sit down, and he can try and shorten my client's testimony, but it is loud and clear. They've got nothing.
That's Trump attorney Alina Habba, and she came out of the courthouse yesterday, and she was very emotive in her words and anger towards the attorney general, towards the way the court system was handling this case. And we're watching Donald Trump. He's on trial. He's testifying in court. It's quite something. I don't know. I've been off for a couple of days, so I don't know how much you've been paying attention to the Trump trial. I'm not watching every bit of it, but I was at home yesterday and cleaning my house. You ever been gone for a weekend and you've got this mess of kids and they just leave a mess behind them? Somebody said cleaning your house. I think I saw this on a meme one time on Facebook. Cleaning your house with kids is like trying to brush your teeth while eating Oreos. And I thought, I feel that in a really personal place in my life. So I decided yesterday, the real goal yesterday was to put up Christmas decorations. Fight me. You can't fight me because I'm in such Christmas spirit that I'll be happy, and then it will rub off on you, and you too will be happy and full of merriment and Christmas spirit. Unfortunately, my house was such a mess that I didn't get around to getting the actual Christmas decorations up. But we did get the clean slate. My mom came over and helped me. I kind of sent out an SOS call to my mom. I was like, I can't do this by myself. And she's like, I'll come over. So it was incredible to have her over and helping me get everything tidy. And I'm talking like clean. And the whole time that we were doing that, I had Fox News on. I was at a volleyball tournament this weekend, had a great experience with my daughter, with my family, with our team. And one of the reasons why I will usually try to take a Monday off if I've been away that weekend at a tournament with my kids that I'm specifically coaching is because I cannot, I'll tell you this, when we went to a volleyball tournament in October, it happened to be the first full weekend in October. That's when the Israel stuff was taking place. And it was awful to try to balance the need to know, which I do need to know, and we all need to know. And you know, it's the disruption that it put into my weekend of a volleyball tournament. It was warranted because I needed to know, and I thought it was something that everyone needed to know. But on any normal news weekend, I'm trying to focus on my kids. I'm trying to focus on the team I'm helping coach, and I just want to be present, fully present. So I don't pay attention to headlines. I'm not sitting there all the time reading news articles. And then on Monday, I try to get my act together to be more in the know. And the other thing is, especially when I'm coaching, I yell a lot. Not in like a angry yell, but in a motivational. That is my position on this volleyball team is pretty much strictly motivation. We've got 2 other coaches with a lot of experience, and they're really good at what they do, and they let me come along and help. And so I try to be very encouraging and positive, and that involves a lot of yelling. And by the time Monday gets there, my voice is not so great. So Monday is kind of a recovery day and a research day, and I'm cleaning my house with my mom, and we've got Fox News on in the background, and Alina Habba comes walking out up to the podium, and she starts slinging. And really, truly listening to her words, listening to the New York Attorney General Letitia James's words.
He falsely inflated his assets to basically enrich himself and his family. He continued to persistently engage in fraud. The numbers don't lie. And Mr. Trump obviously can engage in all of these distractions, and that exactly what he did, what he committed on the stand today, engaging in distractions and engaging in name calling. But I will not be bullied. I will not be harassed. This case will go on.
You want to talk about bullying and harassing? My goodness. There is no victim in this crime. They have a former president of the United States testifying in court, and there is no victim. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not against the law, so don't hear me say what I'm not saying. The law that they are pursuing charges for him doesn't require that a victim be squarely identified. But have you heard some of the stories in New York lately? Have you seen some of the crime that's taking place in New York City lately? The amount of money and the amount of hours that the Attorney General's office is spending on this court case, when, of course, if you listen to what the Trump team says, it's a meritless charge. There's no fact base of evidence to suggest that he did do what the Attorney General there just said, that he lied to enrich his family. I mean, the parallels here are pretty amazing to listen to Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, talk about a politician lying while they enriched their families. What would you say if the politician who was doing it did it while they were a politician and did it on behalf of the taxpayers' dime?
He falsely inflated his assets to basically enrich himself and his family.
To basically enrich himself and his family. So this is Attorney General Letitia James saying that Donald Trump inflates his assets, his worth, for the sin, the crime of enriching his family. Well, I've got some follow-up questions that I would like to ask at least the Democrat Party. If, in fact, Donald Trump didn't inflate his worth, as we said initially when you read through the contracts, the banks were happy that provided him the loans. They were paid back with interest. Nobody is upset here except for the whiny baby Democrats who want to do anything they can. They are willing to do anything they can to take the legs out from underneath Donald Trump. There's something about Donald Trump's presence in Washington, D.C. that is an all-costs scenario for the Democrats to prevent from happening. In the contracts that Donald Trump had with his banks, when it was talking about his worth, there's a disclaimer in there, and the disclaimer says you should verify all of these on your own, and that in legalese is supposed to be kind of an umbrella coverage for saying, here's what the worth is, but make sure that you verify all of this on your own. Isn't it kind of crazy to think, when you listen to Donald Trump say he was worth much more than what he put on that paper, isn't it kind of crazy to think they're accusing Donald Trump of committing a crime so that he could get loans from banks that he ultimately paid off without any default, without any lateness? He was compliant with the whole thing, and that this is what they're taking their time over in New York City.
The poll numbers are terrible. You show what happened today. The New York Times and CBS came out with a poll that I'm leading all over the place, but it's a very unfair situation. This is really election interference. That's all it is. This trial is ridiculous. The numbers are much greater than on the financial statement, and we've already proven that. They said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. Mar-a-Lago's worth anywhere from probably 50 to 100 times more than that.
He said, did he say probably more than 50 times what he put on that paper? Yeah, we understand that Donald Trump's got a strong sense of his own worth. I don't see how any of this benefits the Democrats the way that they want it to. I also don't see how Donald Trump is going to get out of this court case with a fair verdict. And I also don't know how anybody watching any of this is going to be able to check their preconceived notions about all of it at the door to wait and see what happens so we can know what the issues are fair and square. The interesting thing about this court case as it's being pursued right now in New York is that there are elections taking place across the country today. Specifically in Mississippi, in Ohio, in Kentucky. There's another one that's slipping my mind right now. These are big, Virginia, of course. These are big races that could have strong implications moving forward about what's going to happen in 2024. But anytime you get to have a super local election, and you can look at each of the individual parties in those individual states, parties that have their act together will quickly show that they have the benefits of organization and a strong communicated plan. I think Florida is a perfect example of this. The massive wins that Republicans have had in Florida is because they have their act together as a party. They have a message and they have a scoreboard to call. I'm very curious to see what happens in the Kentucky governor race because Andy Beshear, the governor in Kentucky, is he's not your J.B. Pritzker kind of Democrat governor. He is moderate. He understands that he's in Kentucky and he's a Democrat governor in Kentucky, and he does not in any way, shape, or form associate himself as much as possible with Joe Biden. And he's had some moderate views compared to this Democrat Party. And if he loses this election, that will be, I think, a strong statement. Maybe for Kentucky and maybe not for the whole country. But I'm curious what you think. That's our YouTube live chat poll for today. Will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? Yes or no? If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you can go vote. Just find the live video for today. And in the chat portion, there's a poll. I want you to vote. I have a feeling that people are going to be paying attention to Virginia. Did you know that every seat in the General Assembly is up in the whole legislature?
I did not know that.
I think that's what I heard him say on Outnumbered today. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's very wild. The Commonwealth. So I'll be interested to see how Virginia votes, that Kentucky governor race. Because, I mean, he can't be the attorney general. He'll be on the bench if he loses, right?
I don't know if he had to resign his position as attorney general.
But wouldn't it be up at the same time as the governor?
I don't know.
I think it would be. If he loses, he'd be a pretty strong VP candidate. So there's probably that. Go vote. Tell us what you think on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Glad to be back. volleyball is over. Basketball started yesterday, so here we go. And looking forward to seeing what that season brings for us. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel while you're there, and vote the poll. And I'll ask Brad what he thinks about it when we come back. Those elections for tonight, I'm looking forward to watching election results come in. I'm kind of hoping for a good night. I could use a good night of election results. Couldn't you? Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
Doesn't matter if it's big or small. Together there's no problem we can't solve.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
We'll make it through the thick and thin. No matter what comes around the bend, we're gonna be alright, like we've always been. Couldn't ask for a better friend.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan. And for anybody out there right now who's shopping for homes, you need to call or text Stewie right away. And even if you've been suggested, oh, you should go with this lender, you should go with that lender, just check with Stewie and see if he can get you a better deal. The amount of money that you can save over the course of time working with Stewie is fantastic, especially right there from the very beginning when you use the bagel loan. You don't pay any of those closing costs, those fees that other lenders are going to charge you for. You don't have to pay those with Stewie when you use the bagel loan. Reach out to him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. He's going to walk you through how the bagel loan works and how he can save you money. I've heard him talk to people who have reached out to him about the bagel loan, and I think they ended up using the bagel loan, but he could still help them through the process and get them a better deal. If you're looking for the lowest rates available, I know they're higher, but when you need to get a mortgage, you need to get a mortgage. You can get those with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. Reach out to him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Men, suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Frustrated taking pills that don't work? Here's a message from Paramount Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hardee's newest handcrafted recipe? Candied bacon, coated with caramelized brown sugar and a hint of pepper. Try it on a made-from-scratch breakfast biscuit with egg and cheese, or with charbroiled Angus beef on a signature Frisco burger, or as its own salty sweet snack pack. Any time of day, candied bacon brings savory sweetness to all your favorite things. At Hardee's, goodness in the making. For a limited time at participating restaurants. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The leaves are changing. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. And you know what that means? It's time to start making your list and checking it twice. Pro tip, if you're planning to propose this holiday season, it's time to design the perfect ring now. Every Diamonds Direct engagement ring is handcrafted to perfection, which takes time. So don't wait. Start designing your dream ring today. Our experts will make you feel at ease as they educate and guide you to create that one-of-a-kind ring you're envisioning. Our industry-leading warranties will give you total confidence. And as always, our nationwide price guarantee will ensure you get the very best value. Plus, Diamonds Direct has a gift even Santa can't beat. Buy any natural diamond at Diamonds Direct and get a 14-karat gold solitaire setting free. Beat the rush, shop in November, and make this holiday season one to remember. Diamonds Direct at Olive and 270, official partner of the St. Louis Blues and proud to call the Gateway City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Mark Cox here, 97.1 FM Talk is shining a spotlight on our first responders. Listen to my show each day as we feature our heroes and raise awareness for responder rescue. Learn more about how you can give back at 971talk.com/events, sponsored by Budweiser.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I was just telling Brad, you guys might have remembered my beautiful graphic of the deer accident. It's just
It's very informative.
I was going to go into art, and my parents were like, Annie, probably not. You should probably do broadcasting.
I don't think you should
got a
go
loud
to
mouth.
school for art.
But if you're going to do art, you better go to school because you're going to need it. No. My husband hit a deer. What day was that? Was that 2 weeks ago? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I looked at this sheet here, and it says November 7th, and I about fell off my chair. It's wild to me how fast time is moving.
Oh, it seems like it's speeding up.
Which is why you should put your Christmas decorations up.
I'm working on it.
I'm talking in the collective you. I'm talking to you sitting in your cubicle right now wearing the red shirt. I know there's got to be
really specific.
There's got to be two people out there who's like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh.
Go, that's me. Say it really loud. So he hit a deer going to school. He was going over an overpass. The question remains, that the reason why we had to go into such illustration is because the deer was on the overpass and jumped over in front of my husband over the median partition in out of nowhere. And parents, you got to understand, or grandparents too, when there are kids in the car, you just kind of want to know, what was the visceral reaction from the adult in charge? How did they react? And so I said to my kids, I'm like, what did Dad say when it happened? And it was not FCC approved, but it could have been way worse. Just kind of proud of him, moderately proud of him that he dropped a oh shucks, shucks, darn it, and a from what they said, where did that come from after it bounced off the front quarter of the car. And we just got the news this weekend that the car is totaled. And I'm taking this news not very well because that car has been paid off. And you were intimately familiar with that car.
Yeah. I mean, I've spent time underneath that car working on it.
Yeah. So we could make it last.
Yes. And isn't it always the way, though? It's like you do a major repair on something and then somebody pulls out in front of you, you hit a deer or something like that, and your vehicle's totaled.
Yeah. We just spent about $500 or $600 on getting something in the front. It was a ball bearing or something.
Ball joint?
I don't know. You're saying that like I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, that's right. No.
I don't know. Maybe a trigger.
When I said that out loud, I was hoping that a ball bearing was a thing.
It is.
Okay, thanks. So just leave it at that. That's a win. That's the dub. Leave it there. We went and paid to have that fixed. The air conditioner didn't work. That's what Brad was trying to help my husband with. You guys did some fangled thing underneath the car to try to make it work, but it had been paid for. I think it had 160,000 miles on it. I figure you got at least 40,000 miles left on that before it was still safe to drive. And now we got to get another car. And there's a part of me that's going to be super excited about that. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm super bummed about taking out another loan. But we'll get through it. I need a seat 6. So give me your thoughts and suggestions in the comments about what kind of car we should get. I'm talking with Cassins right now because that's where we were going to get it fixed. Annie, did he hit the deer with his car or a bat? I don't get it. We do have deer sausage though.
It's a small victory.
Small, very small. I don't eat it. So, I wanted to ask you about the YouTube live chat poll. Will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? Yes or no? The key race that I want to see go to the Republicans is the Kentucky governor.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really, really want the Kentucky governor to go to Cameron. I think he's the underdog.
Yeah, but he was trending in the right direction right before the election. Like, quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a steep, and apparently his AG race was like that as well. He was like people were considering him a non-factor, and then all of a sudden there he was, and bang, there he was. Kentucky governor, maybe. I don't know how well Kentucky reflects on the rest of the country, but it might show that, because even like you were saying earlier, Bashir's not really your big crazy liberal J.B. Pritzker-esque style governor. But it might show where the country's looking at as far as liberal policies and just the Democrat Party as a whole. Like, we've had enough of these guys. We see what you did. We gave you 4 years. Enough. But, again, I just don't know how representative a place like Kentucky is, or even Virginia, of the rest of the country.
Virginia is such an interesting one because you wouldn't think that the Republicans would have as much success there because they have some of the most liberal areas in Virginia, in the country. Condensed areas, but I want to think that it's going to serve as some indication, even if it doesn't go all the way the Republicans want it to go, but maybe it will show your weak spots so that you can say, okay, we got out this many absentee ballots. We did this much early vote. We need to do that much early vote. So I'm hoping that what we can take from the 2023 elections will help us be smarter in the 2024 elections. But, I mean, at the end of the day, 2024, if Joe Biden is on the presidential ticket, that's going to have ramifications all the way down.
Well, I think it's striking, that poll. And as you pointed out earlier, it's only one poll, but there are others that are similar. And the other things that have to worry the president is it means that his arguments about Bidenomics and how great the economy is clearly aren't selling.
The idea that Bidenomics was initially entered into the conversation by a liberal-leaning publication, and the Biden machine immediately was like, we need to make it our own. It has always been a mystery to me. The idea that we are going to sit here and hear Joe Biden say, that's Bidenomics, and hear other people parrot that same thing like, that's Bidenomics, over and over and over again, putting it in print on Twitter over and over, talking like, all of the good things that are going on right now in the economy, that's Bidenomics. And it's just like crickets. Where? What are you looking at? What existence are you experiencing? And would you please share?
I know they love pointing to the GDP and they love pointing to jobs numbers. But what they're missing, what they're not realizing is the people that have jobs, because everybody has jobs, they're going to the store and they're saying, hey, I have a job and I can't afford this. And what I don't want is a second job just so I can make ends meet, and the ends that I was making meet before you were president.
It's actually, when you're running a campaign, you have to work to educate people and influence people. And you can't spread that out very much. You have to prioritize at the highest level. This is the winning message. And you cannot deter from that message. You cannot try to convince the American voter of a dozen different things. The closer you can get it down to one single issue, the better. We have a listener who contacted me, was talking about, this is a while ago, but he was talking about how frustrated he was with single issue voters. And I thought about that. That's an interesting thing, because I wouldn't say I'm a single issue voter, but I'm very plugged in. So I understand the gravity of all of those things. I also understand that voting in Illinois means that there are going to be some compromises I'm going to have to take because I'm voting for the lesser of two evils, because that's in some cases the way it's been positioned to me. But what do the Democrats stand for? What do the Republicans stand for? What are the single issues that matter to the American people? Because until you educate them in the way that you want to educate them, and I use the term educate very loosely, persuade. And first you have to educate them, then you can influence them. You have to tell them something that makes them ask the question, what do I do about it? And then you tell them what the action is, and that's to vote blank. If you are unsuccessful in the education portion, then they only know their own experience. They only know what they see in their daily life. They only understand very basic things like the gas pump, the grocery bill, the struggle. I've looked, and I just said the other day, I don't know what I wasn't talking about my situation, but buying a used car. This is a really crap time to buy a used car. Coming off a auto workers strike, there's just a lot of things, interest rates being sky high. This is not the time that you want to be in a position to buy a used car. But guess what? My family cannot function with a single vehicle. We have 2 working parents. We have 4 kids. They're of age where they have activities that they need to be in, and we need to get to work. So I will be pushed into a situation where I'm going to have to pay whatever the market dictates that a car is worth that I need, and I'm going to have to pay at the interest rates that this economy has positioned ourselves to be in. An economy that has been positioned in a way to stop people from borrowing money and spending it, to pull back on that. So if a politician isn't out there able to convincingly change my mind about what my personal experience is, then I'm going to vote on my assumptions, on my own personal experience. So what the Biden administration does is they go out there and they say, Bidenomics, come on, man. It's the best thing you got. Look at all these fantastic numbers. The question is, fantastic for who? Because I'm not the one who's feeling it. That's the way a lot of Americans think. That's the way a lot of Americans feel. And it actually serves to me to be the opposite effect as what is intended, because when you see somebody like Joe Biden and all of his surrogates coming out constantly telling you that Bidenomics is good for you, it implies a couple of things. That you're too stupid to understand a good thing when you see it. And secondly, that if it's so good, and they keep saying this, that maybe the people who are enjoying the benefits of Bidenomics are the other people. Maybe Bidenomics isn't for me. That's not how you win votes. And Britt Hume was talking about the New York Times poll that's out. There are other polls, I think a CBS poll out that we can talk about later, that is showing grave danger for the Democrat Party and Joe Biden. Now, if you've listened to the show for a while, I have consistently said, Brad, what is your estimation on the first time that I started saying that Joe Biden would not be the Democrat Party's nominee? How long have I been saying that?
Oh, man. Almost as long as I've been on this show. But the first time you said it to me specifically, I would say was probably...
That would be September 21.
Yeah, that would be September 21 is when I started on the show. At least November of 21.
Yeah.
You probably said it then.
I don't understand how this man makes it onto the official ballot that he's the guy that you're choosing in less than 306. It's 364 days, folks. We're within a year. I don't think it's him. And the Democrat Party has issues that they're going to need to address. I want to play this one more clip here from Britt Hume before we take a break. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this conversation. If you see the same concerns with the Democrat Party, if you feel like they're flailing, I mean, I'm on the red team. I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. I have no shame in saying that. I know that might not be the way you are, and I don't have any problem with you if you think differently than I do. But I have a horse in the race, so to speak, of the Republicans doing better than the Democrats. But I'm looking at the Democrat Party right now and thinking they have some major issues.
And now you have a situation this weekend in Washington where these tens and tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters outside the White House, the Muslim vote has become a part of the Democratic coalition, depended upon to win elections. And if that's leaking away from him because of the war in the Middle East right now, Israel versus Hamas, that's got to worry him too. And what worries, I think, may worry other people about that is that he will be tempted, I'm afraid, to weaken his position in support of Israel.
I think that Joe Biden, the Biden administration, and the Democrat Party are at a crossroads right now where they're going to have to stand on principle, not on politics. And it's going to be unpopular when they do to a portion of their voting bloc. I don't know how they're going to pull off the right political thing. I just pray they pull off the right principled thing, whatever that is. And I'm cheering for Joe Biden to do that as my president. I have no shame in saying that either. And in the midst of the Democrats trying to figure out what their footing is, the Republicans have to be laser focused in what it means to vote red today in those states where elections are being held. I think there's some local elections being held in Missouri. Is that right?
Yes.
That is right. We have to be laser focused about what it means, simply what it means to vote Republican versus what it means to vote Democrat. And that's going to have to boil over into 2024. Let us know what you think. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? Yes or no? We've got people making suggestions about vehicles I should check into. Hunter said, what was your car? It was a Ford Explorer, 2013. We had it for 7 years. It was 10 years old. Well loved, well lived in. Also paid off, which was the magic thing. Wavy says, a Lexus TX or a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Wavy, you're speaking to my heart because the Wagoneer was the dream car, and we were trying to make the Explorer last so we could afford a Wagoneer. That is not happening this time around. But maybe we're leaning in the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, which is the 6-seater. Give me your. I like to buy American. That's kind of a thing. Don't come at me about where the parts are made and where the cars are assembled. I get it. It's very complicated. YouTube channel, come join us. Wiggins in studio here in a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Gateway ENT is a destination where you can call and schedule an appointment and get seen very quickly for your ear, nose, and throat concerns. I promise you that when you put your ear, nose, and throat concerns in the hands of the ENTs at Gateway ENT, you are going to find relief, and potentially relief that you thought that maybe you could never have. Your nose, your sinus concerns, your hearing concerns, all of these different things that maybe have deteriorated a little bit over the course of time. Maybe it's sped up a little bit over the course of time, and you think, gosh, I guess this is just what getting older is about. Don't put yourself through that. See if there is a resolution for it with the amazing doctors at the private practice ear, nose, and throat group, Gateway ENT. They're online at gatewaydrs.com. That's gatewaydoctors.com. And you can call to schedule an appointment, and they're going to get you in. This is not going to be something where they're like, okay, we'll see you in March. No, they're going to get you in quickly. They're going to get your concerns addressed, and you might be on your way to being mended and not having to deal with these issues that you thought were chronic, and maybe we're going to be with you for the rest of your life. Call 314-843-3828, 314-843-3828, gatewaydrs.com.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
This is Kim St. Ange with the Mark Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk. I can see clearly now thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra with Ophthalmology Associates, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
The Capitol Grill is effortlessly arranged and customized for you. Whether it's a private room, an elegant table setting, dry-aged steaks paired with world-class wines, or an intimate party or business reception, make this part of your memorable private dining experience this holiday season. Every private dining room is elegantly appointed and offers seating capacities that range from 12 to 60. For reservations, call the Capitol Grill in Clayton today, 314-725-0930, or visit thecapitolgrill.com.
Oh yeah, this is my kind of poll on this election Tuesday. Not necessarily all the national elections, but it's an off year. Will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? Yes or no? Let us know what you think on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? Yes or no? The time right now, 12:46. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
This is where real local and national accountability happens. This is 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Well, I should have known better, but when I started talking about the fact that my husband hit a deer and then we just found out that the car was totaled this weekend, I asked for suggestions of vehicles because we have not been shopping for cars. And I am a researcher, so I plan months and months, maybe years ahead of time, like here's the next thing that we should buy. And the Wagoneer was the plan, but that plan has been accelerated and the budget decreased. David on our YouTube is a big advocate for my husband should have A, not hit the deer, and B, he should fix the car himself. But I've never seen my husband replace a radiator. So, as a mother and my husband being the great father he is, he knows when to call it quits. For the safety of all the humans in the car he's driving and the ones that are around the car he's driving on the road. And not everybody can be as skilled of a mechanic as you, David. And my husband is one of those people, as am I. That is all. Hi, Ryan.
Hi. I'm amazed that you had the wherewithal after hitting the deer to go, we could still eat this. Because I've heard of people doing that, but I would have never thought to do that in that moment.
What would you have done? Like, if somebody would suggest, hey, you want that deer sausage? What would you have been like, no?
No. I would have said, how do I make this happen? Because I don't even know what step one is.
Is shoot the deer, because it wasn't dead yet.
So you got to shoot the deer.
The police officer did that, and I think it was the highlight of his day.
Definitely.
A big shout out to the local police department. Then you got to go. The police officers drug it up to the side of the highway because it was down a hill. Because I think my husband sent it flying. But again,
Superman pose.
Like David said, he's a terrible driver. And an even worse mechanic. So
Clearly.
I don't know what I see in this man.
How is he even allowed to have a car?
I don't even
know exactly what you see in this man. He did all that, and then he goes, I can eat that.
Exactly.
Because that's not me.
So what my man of a husband did is said, I would like to keep that deer. And they drug the deer up to the side. My husband got my father-in-law's truck. My husband came and drove the truck up on the side of the road, picked the deer up with his own man hands.
By himself?
That can't fix a car to save his life.
Man.
And he doesn't even pump his own gas. I hope he's teaching right now.
Be nice to him.
No, he's the best.
He is awesome.
He's the best.
He did that whole house. You and him remodeled that whole house in, what's the name of the town? Hamel.
The metropolis.
Yeah. Not everybody can be a mechanic. I can't remodel a house.
No. Well, you're also lame, according to
But
David.
I can fix a car.
Let's talk about all the things Ryan can't do.
No, let's not.
So he puts the deer in my father-in-law's truck, and then, Mr. David, what my husband proceeds to do, go rip its skin off and carve the meat off its body so he could feed it to his family.
Where did he do that?
At my
Right,
father-in-law's
I don't like
house.
the way, I don't like the way you asked that.
Evansville Public Library.
I was gonna say, he didn't do it right there in the truck, right?
Kids, gather around. I'll teach you things. Not about cars.
You went to the local vegan restaurant and did
My
it in the
husband's
parking lot.
My husband's gonna get a message just be like, "Didn't know you were a terrible mechanic." Like, this is gonna be part of my husband's lore on this show right now. And no, my husband is amazing at almost everything he does. And one of them is knowing when to say, "Could you please help me?"
None of that matters. Like putting up Christmas decorations, which, by the way, we're going to do tonight. Thank you for this suggestion. While
Yeah,
it's
that's
still
good.
warm.
You will enjoy it.
I know. I'm looking forward to it now because I forgot that we were. Oh yeah, that's
Can we
tonight.
do Wiggins America at 1:45?
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay, then we can give you the whole thing.
Because the the point of all of that stuff, he's a terrible mechanic and all these negative things, it's all washed away by the fact that he was willing to skin a deer. I mean, do that and you have cred as far as the eye can see.
Here's more from David. If he had to take responsibility and fix it himself, he won't ever get close to hitting anything else. Now, David, I don't know how many deer you see on overpasses while you're driving 40 miles an hour approaching a stoplight. Yeah, I drew you a picture. I drew you a literal
That's
picture.
right, you did, and it was very good. Good job.
How much car repair? Brad is that's Brad's thing. Brad is a gearhead, so we're taking him out of this conversation.
Okay.
At what level of car repair or maintenance, Ryan, are you capable of doing?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a 0. I'm below that because I really know nothing. I can't put gas in my car.
I was going to say, do you make Mrs. Wiggins gas up your car?
Well, if she's not with me, I'll just honk until someone comes and helps.
Help! Help!
I can't get the thingy open.
Ryan reaches down in the center console, pulls out a wig, puts it on. It's like, would you help me?
Would you please help me?
I'm verklempt. Sir, you're
I'm
clearly
almost down
wearing
to
a wig.
half of a tank.
And you're not using that word correctly. I'm so sorry.
You think you could change a spare tire? You think you put a spare on?
You know what? No,
You
but
can't change a tire?
I don't know that I can. But I used to change golf cart tires.
Then I think you could do a car
Do you
tire.
think I could do it?
I
okay.
do.
Because I've never tried.
I feel a video coming on.
How confident are you, Brad, in getting in that car after he's changed the tire?
Do I get to check it?
No.
No?
You just trust him.
Yeah, you just got to get it.
Yeah,
and then
I'll
we got
give it a
road
7.
trip to
I think
LA.
if you did a golf cart, I'll have a 7 out of 10 in confidence.
I mean, 3 out of 4 wheels is pretty good.
We had. I learned how to use a jack. I jacked that golf cart up, and spun the lug nuts off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go on, keep going.
And
What
and I
about the
took
ball
them
bearings?
off. And this is embarrassing for you right now, because as somebody who's changed those, there was no ball bearings. That was what we did on the side, a little betting on the side, marbles. This is the 20s.
I just don't even understand what's happening. I feel right
Little
back at
stick
home
ball.
now.
So I would take all it was only four little lug nuts, take those things off, pull the tire off. Now here's the problem. The tire was usually pretty dirty, so you had to hold it away from you because you don't want to get
And
your
you're like,
uniform.
ew,
Ew,
oh,
gross. I don't want to do this. Or you had to
gross.
clean it ahead of time, which nobody wanted to do. So we took it off, and then we'd grab that brand new nice tire, stick it on there, and then we'd turn the lug nuts to the right. That's righty-tighty. And then we'd undo the jack.
Lefty.
Golf cart comes down. Boom, you're ready to go play 18. Maybe even 27 if you feel lucky. Ribbity-boo.
It's funny to me how sometimes I can just like dip into the comments while Ryan's telling a story.
Yeah, I can see you're not paying attention.
No, I'm listening mostly, like
Okay,
75% listening. But if you miss the transition in Ryan's story when he decides to take a hard right or left turn, it's consequential.
Yeah, if you just tune in, you're going, what the heck is going on?
Or if you're on the show.
Either way, and you're reading the comments. You're paying attention to something else.
What'd you guys cover when I was gone?
Oh, gosh. Yesterday,
Nothing.
we covered a lot.
Everything?
The poll question was about Trump's convictions. How much of an impact do you think, if he's convicted, I shouldn't say convictions, I should say lawsuits. If he's convicted, how much that will impact the 2024 election?
What were the results?
It was overwhelmingly no, wasn't it?
Right. It would help.
75% that it would help versus hurt. So we talked about that quite a bit. We did some stuff about schools, I think, in the 1 o'clock hour. Ryan Recker, he just brings so much material that it's hard to remember because you just go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fine.
Any recommendations on a car I should get?
I would get something in the way of a Jaguar.
I believe you mean Jaguar.
Jaguar.
You can pronounce it however you want. I pronounce it the English way. Jaguar.
Like the proper English? Like
no. Yeah, the American
Old
English.
country? Oh.
Middle country.
Midwestern English.
Yeah. Not Jaguar. Just get a Jaguar. Head down farty. Waving at the people.
A lot of people are suggesting Subarus.
Why?
No.
Why?
Why? They're great until you have to work on them.
Why? Is it like a BMW thing?
No, BMWs are real
They're
reliable.
just exclusive.
It's not that. It's just that they
aren't BMWs like the Apple products of cars.
I wouldn't say that. No. The thing about Subarus is like
I
an
wouldn't
oil change.
either.
You've got to reach. They do things like because it's the way the engine's designed. You got to reach through the exhaust to undo the
Man,
the
Ryan,
oil
I
filter.
hate it when I have to reach through
I don't
the
even do
exhaust.
it anymore.
And then
I don't do it any less.
The timing is all real complicated and all sorts of stuff. I don't.
Oh,
know.
I
I'm
just
not a
figured
Subaru person.
Right, timing with Ryan is very complicated too. Go
Rolls
on.
Royce.
That would be like,
get a Rolls.
but not a regular Rolls Royce, like the old.
I'm gonna
like
get
you'd see
the old Grey Poupon one.
like the dictator would drive in a third world
I'm gonna
country.
be driving around in a Rolls Royce. See me rolling in. It's gonna be like almost, but not quite enough. Jim Carafano, when we come back.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? Did you go with one of those high-deductible, limited-network Obamacare plans? Well, you're not stuck with it. Or did you go with a plan outside the marketplace that's costing you an arm and a leg? There are better options. Kim Kiefer at H&L Agency offer plans where you only meet a deductible if you go into a hospital. You pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most other plans. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, you need to talk to an expert. Call Kim at 800-975-2841. That's 800-975-2841. Or go to hnlagency.org. And is spelled out. That's HandLagency.org. HandLagency.org. A quality plan managed by you, not the government.
MySlim180.com, waiting for you to go schedule your free consultation. You can do it all right there on the website, MySlim180.com. How does it sound to lose up to 20 pounds in as little as 6 weeks? Now, if you do the math right now, 6 weeks from now, that's about Christmas time. You could be down 20 pounds through this complicated season. I know that there are people who are thinking, I can't go on a diet during Christmas season. I want you to do this for yourself for Christmas because the healthier you is 6 weeks away, and the guidance that you need and the assistance that you need is right there at Slim 180. You can use your FSA dollars that might be expiring here soon to buy the plan. And here's a little tip I'm going to tell you. If you are interested in starting this plan in the new year and you're trying to get yourself ready for it, but you're not sure about the holiday season, talk to Slim 180 about investing in buying the plan and utilizing it after the holiday season. Save while you can and go with Slim 180 to lose while you can. MySlim180.com.
Reinhold Flooring is dedicated to delivering top-notch flooring solutions with a commitment to customer satisfaction. We ensure your needs are met with the highest level of service. We stand firmly behind our work and make things right when issues arise. Based in St. Louis, we take pride in offering a comprehensive range of services, from crafting custom area rugs to providing manufacturer-approved floor cleaning supplies and even free in-home estimates. We cater to the builder and commercial business with high-quality flooring solutions. Learn more at reinholdflooring.com.
Golden Old Landing cured my blues.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments until next year? Are you tired of making minimum payments on high-interest credit cards? Is student loan repayment giving you the blues? Your home equity is at an all-time high. Use that equity to save hundreds every month. Call 314-567-GOLD now and give yourself a payment break. That's 314-567-GOLD. Or visit goldenoaklending.com. NMLS 114937.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A man with a gun arrested near Capitol Hill. Lisa Brady, Fox News. This happened just about an hour ago.
There was a man with a gun just outside of the U.S. Senate office buildings in a park between the Capitol as well as Union Station, which is the main train station here in D.C.
Fox's Mark Meredith.
It was just a few minutes before 1 o'clock this afternoon that Capitol Police got reports of seeing somebody, a man with a gun. There have been indications that it was some sort of rifle, but that has not been confirmed at this point. Investigators then involved in a foot chase were able to capture the suspect.
They have him detained in a Capitol Police car for questioning. Police also searching the nearby park, and at this point, no other details confirmed. Investigators in California aren't ruling out a hate crime after a Jewish man fell, hit his head, and died during a pro-Palestinian rally yesterday. There are reports that 69-year-old Paul Kessler had been hit in the head with a megaphone.
I can just tell you that the information we're getting is conflicting with one another. There was clearly an interaction between the two, but what that level of interaction is still unclear.
Ventura County Sheriff Jim Freihoff says the suspect has been cooperative and has not been arrested as they appeal to the public for more information, investigating Kessler's death as a homicide.
The Ventura County Sheriff's Office remains committed to protecting the rights and safety of all members of our community, regardless of their race, religion, or ethnicity.
He says they're increasing patrols around mosques, Muslim community centers, and Jewish houses of worship. A milestone for Israel.
1 month since that massacre against Israeli civilians here in southern Israel. Such a horrific day for the country. And there are still so many families, 239 of them, waiting for answers about their loved ones being held inside Gaza.
Fox's Trey Yingst in southern Israel. Israeli forces have now entered Gaza City. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
At SimpliSafe, our award-winning home security has advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Now get 50% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The jackets stay in the closet on this Tuesday afternoon. Keep them in there on Wednesday. Partly sunny skies today. It's a warm afternoon, 79 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, only going down to 60 degrees. Wednesday, sunny, windy, and warm near 80. Here comes cool front Wednesday night, partly cloudy, some showers, 52. And Thursday, partly sunny skies, but some rain showers around Thursday and 59. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation, because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis. Our visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-238-7360.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
CAJonesinc.com. If you're looking to build a home on the Illinois side of the river, you need to know about CAJonesinc.com. CA Jones. They are fantastic people. They give back to the communities that they build in, and the homes that they build are gorgeous. I've been in many of them, and different kinds, different layouts, different sizes. If you're looking to build, reach out to CA Jones online at CAJonesinc.com to see what they have available. They have they have home builds already that you can buy right now, or you can pick out your different layout. We have a home design tool that you can use to choose which kind of layout you want and customize the outside so you can see and visualize what it's going to look like when you go to build. And they are very, very proud military and first responder supporters. They offer veterans, active, and first responders specials to help them get into the home of their dreams and to do it easier. They offer specials for new builds and first-time home buyers. Just go online to CAJonesinc.com/specials to find out more information. They provide a 10-year builder warranty, limited warranty that includes a lifetime waterproof basement warranty. For your home building needs on the Illinois side of the river, check out CA Jones online at CAJonesinc.com.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, visit mersgoodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon and Dana Lesh, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
But it's also important to remember that we still believe in a two-state solution. In the United States, President Biden still supports this as a viable vision and a promise for both in a Jewish democratic state and a free and independent Palestinian state. That is the way we believe that both sides can live in peace and security going forward. And even though we're in the middle of a conflict, Phil, the president hasn't given up on that, and we're continuing to talk to our partners throughout the region about how to get back on track to some sort of viable two-state solution here.
Well, that's John Kirby talking about the viable two-state solution. And I think this is a term that gets thrown around a lot, that people, before this conflict was escalated to enormous proportions in the Middle East and Israel because of Hamas's attack on Israeli civilians in their homes. And now the response that the IDF has into Gaza, there's a lot of questions and there's suggestions of ceasefire. But that two-state solution, what does that mean? What did it mean before the Hamas attack, and what does it mean today? We're going to ask our friend Jim CARAFANO about it. Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back to the show.
If John Kirby is listening, John, it'd be a good time to retire.
Okay.
Look, here I do this all the time. Let's pretend that we have godlike powers and we can magic anything into existence. So let's make Joe Biden happy and let's magic a Palestinian state tomorrow. Now let's envision what would that state look like. It would be a state sponsor of terrorism. It would be committed to the destruction of Israel. It would be a pawn of Iran, and it would be thoroughly oppressive, exploitive, and corrupt, and overbearing of its own people. Now, who thinks the word solution belongs in that sentence at all? You know, we used to have this discussion about Syria where the Obama administration would be promoting a two-state solution in Palestine, and at the same time they were promoting to remove Assad in Syria. And I said, look, you're basically arguing to create Syria in Palestine, even as you're arguing that Syria is a horrible model for human existence. So the fact that this administration trumpets a two-state solution would be like in 1943 if FDR said, well, when the war's over, maybe it'd be good for for Berlin to host another Olympics. You know, it's just it doesn't make any sense.
Is it in your opinion, when you hear Kirby saying this, or the Biden administration speaking in these terms, are these political statements or are these actual policy-based statements? Do they really think that suggestion of this kind of two-state solution is workable?
So if I was a generous, loving, naive person, I would say, look, they're just saying this because they're trying to placate the Arab states, because the Arab states have to pretend like they care about the Palestinians, which they don't. And but the reality is, no, they actually believe this. This is the only tool in their kit bag, and this is all they. Just like why are today, as you and I speak, we are continuing to engage in Iran, even though Iran is continuing to direct attacks against U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq, even after the U.S. government has said this is completely intolerable and you have to stop this. Not only are the Iranians not stopping those attacks, this administration continues to say, well, okay, we've got issues with Iran, but our plan is to still engage with them. It's like after everything that you went through, right, no matter how many family members disappeared, and you would say, we're still going to have Hannibal Lecter over for dinner tomorrow.
We're speaking with Jim CARAFANO with the Heritage Foundation. I'm going to just ask a super broad question, and then you can key in on focusing what you think people should understand about American policy through the Biden administration and the influence that Obama's presidency and the actions that he took with Iran, how that plays into this current moment in time.
So it's important to understand is this is Obama's third term, that this is exactly the same kind of foreign policies that Obama had, and that this is not surprising, because it's exactly the same people in the Obama administration that are executing exactly the same policies. And part of the reason why it's failed so dramatically, why we have a war going in Europe, we have a war going in the Middle East, we have China threatening Taiwan, we have leftist regimes taking over all of Latin America, Africa, China is running wild, terrorism is running wild in Africa. Why literally we are failing on every single front. And this is not a political thing, because I'm not a political guy. I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat. The reason why this is happening is very simple. All the bad people in the world, they have the playbook. They saw this foreign policy for 8 years under Obama. They know exactly what to expect, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. Now, where we actually push back is because of either allies pull us to do the right thing, or Biden finds himself smack in the middle between what he wants to do politically and really put a vital American interest at stake. And so he tries to do like a little of both, which is why we have these kind of, muddling through policies in both the Middle East and Europe. So it's failing because our enemies know exactly what they're doing. The irony of this is, and we often talk about isolationism and withdrawing from the world as a Republican thing, even though that's really not true. The reality is the real isolationists was Obama and Biden. And all their talk of one world and everything else is basically, yeah, we want one world, but we don't want to do anything in it. And if you actually look at, and this is the most important thing to understand, if you look at Biden's foreign policy and you look at Obama's foreign policy, the priorities on foreign policy are not actually have anything to do with foreign policy. They're actually about reinforcing the domestic agenda. So if you went to the Biden guy and said, what are the most important things we're doing in the world today? They wouldn't say dealing with Ukraine. They wouldn't say trying to prevent a Middle East war. They wouldn't say dealing with, pro-communist regimes in Latin America. They would say promoting climate change policy, gender policy, promoting LGBTQ rights around the world, and pushing for abortion globally. They would tell you those are their top three priorities.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano with the Heritage Foundation, and I want to, in a thought exercise, if the Biden administration, and as you articulated it, the third term of the Obama administration, if they were to be completely and totally successful with their approach and their policy position on our relationship with Iran and everything going on in the Middle East, what does complete success, according to the Biden administration, look like?
Well, they have been completely successful. But what it's done is empowered Iran to be more dangerous. And you're saying, well, how is this? So there are two kinds of people in the Obama administration. There are people in the Obama administration which are pro-Iran, and their job is to promote Iranian policy in the U.S. government. And we know that, and yet we fill the ranks of the U.S. government with these people. And there are other people, again, it's kind of like the two-state solution. Their policies are driven by ideology and faith, and not by reality on the ground. It's like, well, how can you push climate change when it's obvious that climate change policy is completely unaffordable and ineffective? Well, it's what we believe. How can you push for a two-state solution when it's obvious that that's not only unworkable, but it's completely impossible? Because that's what we believe. How can you push for engaging Iran when you know that when you engage Iran, they see that as weakness, and they say it as an opportunity to stab you in the eye, because that's what we do. Why won't the president? Why would the president, in the middle of the most significant increase in hate crimes against Jews in modern history, where 64% of hate crimes are committed against Jewish people, why would he say, my number one objective right now is to get out a strategy to deal with Islamophobia, when a Jew is just murdered in the streets of Los Angeles for basically holding up an Israeli flag? Because we believe that all the hate is really from the right wing, and they're the threat. So it doesn't matter that the facts aren't there. It doesn't matter it doesn't comport with reality. It's, we do until we are mugged by reality. It's just like the Soros, attorney generals that get elected, and all they're doing is, letting criminals out of jail and not holding anybody accountable and attacking the police. And then one day they get carjacked and mugged, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Oh, we're 911. Where's the police?" Right? So until they get mugged by reality, this administration will do nothing to comport with reality.
Jim, what do you make of this administration's inability to talk about anti-Semitism without also mentioning Islamophobia?
Well, because half of their party is anti-Semitic, and they're seeing this in an incredibly aggressive way now, and the reason why is because anti-Semitism, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, radical gender ideology, all of these things are rooted in the same political agenda for the deliberate self-weakening in the United States. And both foreign powers and domestic agents, they push a button and those things happen. And because literally the people in power are part of this regime, they cannot argue against this.
Well, here's the $1.8 billion question. Is peace in the Middle East possible? And if so, what has to happen?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And you have to do two things. You have to put Iran back in a box. And the Iranian regime is very consistent. When they feel threatened, they get more conservative and they stop doing stuff. You kill Soleimani, all of a sudden the Iranians go quiet. Right? After the second Gulf War, the first thing the Iranians did is they completely went silent because they were afraid that they were next. Once they realized that Bush wasn't coming after them, then they got aggressive. When you push on the button, the Iranians go quiet. So that's number one. The second thing is you have to have normalization between the Arabs and Israelis because they have to work together about building economic security and in the region together. And then all the other problems will solve themselves.
Does any of that happen without American leadership?
Unlikely, because there are other people that'll poke the region. And so if America, and this is when we say American leadership, this is the irony here. We're not talking about America being the policeman of the world or being the world's fireman or being the world's babysitter. We're not talking about putting the 82nd Airborne in the middle of the Middle East or division or anything. We're talking about U.S. presence and influence. And the answer is no, because look what happened is, although it was started in the last administration, normalization between Arabs and Israelis was continuing, even though the new administration came in and did nothing. They basically were just, well, that was a Trump thing. We don't care about that. These guys continued to march forward anyway because they realized it was good for the region. But what happened? The Iranians come in, the Russians come in, even the Chinese come in, and they're all poking because this is not in their interest. Is they have influence in the region, not that the region is self-sustaining and resilient. So no. And then what happens is other countries, either like Iran, who see that, America's absent, so they go crazy. Like, kids, when your parents go out for the house for the weekend and you have a wild party, or like the Gulf states or Turkey that start to say, oh, geez, if the United States isn't going to be here and kind of help be a partner with us, we need to hedge. And so they start looking at other options for support and everything else, which is incredibly dangerous.
Jim Carafano, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us again here today.
Well, thank you. And thanks for all you do. It's a great show. And you just always, I think, try to get people to deal with the issues that are important to them. Maybe not something they're really super know about, but it's important for them to understand. And you provide an opportunity for people to kind of listen to both sides and make up their minds for themselves. It's awesome work.
Well, we need your expertise in order to do that. We're grateful for you as well, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. You can follow him on Twitter. Tell him thanks for being on the show. If you appreciate his hits here on us on the Annie Frey Show, at JJ Carafano. We're going to take a quick break. Darren Bailey joins us when we get back. You talked a little bit about Darren with the Darren Bailey folks, Brad. His involvement in his testimony.
Yes.
These gun laws.
Yeah, this was on the Illinois assault weapons registration hearing. They were supposed to do this before, like Illinois law requires you to do this before you actually enact the thing, but the registration has been open for a month, and so this was a chance for the citizens to come out and speak out about this.
So we're talking about the gun registry in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, and they did 3 of those in the state of Illinois, and the last one was yesterday in Caseyville.
All right, well, let's talk about it with Darren Bailey on the Annie Frey Show when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Must have been so bad, 'cause living with me must have damn near killed you, and this is how you remind me.
I want to invite you to the Diamond Shop. It's Girls' Night Out on Thursday, November 16th at the Diamond Shop from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Come out and enjoy an evening of fun with delicious sips and unbeatable steals you do not want to miss. And the Diamond Shop's going to send your wish list to the special people in your life so that they can know what you would love, that perfect gift for you for the holiday season. So you can do a little shopping, make that wish list, and they'll take care of the rest. You're going to get a gift that you're going to love, and it'll be easy for those people who are looking for something that they can purchase for you that they know that you're going to be happy about, and they get to pick from the list that you curate. Make sure you reach out to the Diamond Shop online at thediamondshop.net. Sign up to be a VIP. You'll be glad you do. If you're one of the first 100 guests at the door on November 16th between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m., if you're one of the first 100 guests at the door, you're going to receive a prize and a swag bag. There's free valet parking available, so this is super simple, a night to kind of treat yourself and enjoy some company with other folks doing the same thing. Go to the Diamond Shop. Find them online at thediamondshop.net. You can call them if you have questions at 314-721-2210. 314-721-2210. It's a girls' night out Thursday, November 16th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. right there in Clayton on 12th North Central Avenue. Find all the details online at thediamondshop.net.
Sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
It's hard to believe, but the holidays are right around the corner. Can you imagine the joy on Abuela's face when you sit down for the holiday meal and chat with her in Spanish? Or drop off some cookies at your neighbor's house and chat in Mandarin? With Rosetta Stone, it's possible. Rosetta Stone's immersive method helps prepare you for conversations in the real world, whether that's connecting with friends and family or taking the trip of your dreams. The Rosetta Stone Unlimited subscription provides access to all 25 of Rosetta Stone's languages forever, so you don't have to pick just one. And their award-winning app features immersive 10-minute lessons to fit into even the busiest day. Plus, every subscription now comes with access to live lessons, where expert tutors teach you fun new words related to local holidays, cultural traditions, food and drink, and more. Don't wait. Visit rosettastone.com/radio today to score 50% off, now through November 22nd. That's rosettastone.com/radio.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Jeff Murdoch from the Washington Times.
The Biden administration scramble. This weekend, we had some fierce protests in front of the White House. This is a real embarrassment, and they are desperately scrambling to try to capture the support.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
On the day we wed, I was gonna love you till I was dead. Made you wait till our wedding night. That's the first and the last time I'll wear white.
It has been 1 month since state police opened up registration for assault-style weapons now required by Illinois law. And there is still plenty of confusion about who needs to register and just how the new law will be enforced. CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey is looking into the latest numbers. And Megan, there are some real concerns here about whether those questions will be answered in time for the January 1st deadline.
That's right, Joe. The law says that people who already owned assault-style weapons before the ban took effect are allowed to keep them as long as they register them before January 1st. But gun owners today say that they only had some of their questions answered, and pending legal challenges could change everything.
CBS 2 in Chicago reporting on the gun grab from the Illinois legislature, gleefully signed by Governor J.B. Pritzker, to ban assault-style weapons and to make it so that if you had one, it'll be fine. Just register it with the government. Okay, all right. I'm looking for a Supreme Court ruling on this to come through and actually preserve Second Amendment rights, yes, even for those people living in the state of Illinois. We bring our next guest on to talk about this issue, what these laws are, how they got there, and what he's doing to fight back against them. Darren Bailey joins us. He's a former state senator for Illinois' 55th District, ran for governor against J.B. Pritzker. You can learn more about him at baileyforillinois.com. Welcome back to the show, Darren. It's good to have you here.
Hey, Annie, it's always nice to be here. Thank you very much.
Of course. I want to give you the opportunity to kind of set the table for our listeners right now, Missourians who are listening who don't know exactly what the law is in Illinois. And I know there are a lot of Illinoisans who don't understand the breadth of what our Illinois state government has done to our Second Amendment rights.
Well, so as of recently, it is illegal to purchase or trade, any what's called an AR platform rifle. It is illegal to manufacture them in the state of Illinois. And here's the irony above everything else. Here's the destructiveness of a party that I believe is pushing us more and more towards a socialist Marxist environment, is the very fact that AR stands for Armalite rifle. Armalite was a gun manufacturer up in the Rock Island area that initially developed this style of rifle. So here's the irony that this would all twist and turn around. And, several of these, there are wonderful companies that I toured running for governor up in the Rock Island, Moline area that were still manufacturing these. You can no longer manufacture or sell 50 caliber rifle shells as well in Illinois. So there's the first step. Another step comes in, and Illinois passes the gun registry, a law. All Republicans voted against that, thank goodness. But so therefore, as of January 1st, if you own a gun that is capable of holding more than 10 rounds, that gun must be registered with the Illinois State Police. There's a little more confusion because when someone buys or has bought or purchased a gun in Illinois, we sign up and do the background check. So our name and information is sent to the Illinois State Police, and they run a background check. They do not know, they have never known what actual firearm was purchased. All they know is that either a long gun, a rifle, or a shotgun, or a pistol was purchased. The gun dealer hangs on to those records and must by law hang on to them, I believe, for 10 years. So I want to make sure that there's a little bit of relief alleviated there, that no one really knows, what you do own. But now,
quick question, if I can.
Yeah.
Can the state subpoena those records from a gun store to say, I'd like to know what guns were purchased on August 2nd of 2018 and get those records from those gun stores?
Well, that is an unknown as of right now. I believe the answer to that has been no. You had to have a reason of fraudulent activity to do something like that with a gun owner, and basically, based on the taxes, it had to be something a little more specific and not necessarily to the purchase of a firearm. So usually ATF comes in and conducts some sort of an audit. But even then, they are not able to keep records. It's just as to the FFL dealer's business. So no, there's a lot. There's a lot of concern here with where we're headed to this, because interestingly enough, isn't it interesting that yesterday at Caseyville at the community center and last week in Chicago and Springfield, informational meetings were held by the Illinois State Police. Now, listen, I want to make sure we understand one thing here in Illinois. Illinois State Police, I have full confidence and trust in that organization and the men and women that serve. They have been put in a very difficult situation, by our governor. But they hold these meetings at 9:30 in the morning. I know there was only 8 people who showed up in Chicago. 4 of them were Moms Demand Action. They were, anti-Second Amendment people. There were 40 that showed up in Springfield, and we had a good crowd. I had publicized it, had a wonderful, pretty good crowd at the Caseyville Community Center. It was pretty well full. But interestingly enough, for the full crowd, there was no PA system. So that you just got to scratch your head at this. Brendan Kelly, St. Clair County is his home. He is the head of the director of the Illinois State Police. He was not there.
Wow.
So, I asked that question. There were 3 gun Second Amendment organizations that spoke, and I was the only one who spoke as an individual, and that was my first question. Where's he at? And anyway, the spokesperson for the Illinois State Police just said he is unavailable. But most of the questions were answered with, you'll have to refer back to the rules. So the people who are supposed to be enforcing this really don't even know themselves. And as is with a lot of law, anytime, and this is very important for people to remember. So we're all kind of frustrated what we're going to do, and many people stood up and said, well, no, we're not going to be registering anything. That's an infringement on our Second Amendment rights. But one of the most important things to remember is that when you are when you are convicted of a crime, when you are given a ticket, well, then it is up to the county state's attorney to prosecute. So there's the reasoning in making sure that we have constitutional, fearing, freedom-loving sheriffs and state's attorneys in office, because the state's attorney has the ability to completely, basically tear the ticket up, throw it in the trash can. So that happened a lot with the COVID lockdowns, as JB sent the Illinois State Police around when they knew that they had more important things to be doing, but writing tickets to restaurants who were open. So now we come into another area of uncertainty. We pray. There are still several suits that are headed basically upstream to the U.S. Supreme Court. We pray that one of those lands, we believe that this will be stricken down. It's a little frustrating that there have been several elements that have been upheld over the last few months, but I do believe that the lawsuit from the Illinois State Rifle Association will make its way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and that this will be stricken down. And if not, then we have a totally, we've got a whole new scenario that I don't think any American has had to really look at for many decades, is the fact of, when do we, the people, stand on our, stand on the constitutional rights and against a tyrannical government. I pray it doesn't come to that, but it sure seems to be headed that way.
In your estimation, we're speaking with Darren Bailey right now. In your estimation, when does the Supreme Court take up this conversation? Are we years and years away from that? Are we by the next cycle? When might the Illinois residents get their constitutional rights back?
I've heard it could be up to 2 years. Evidently, I think 4 or 5 years ago, a case, I had that information, I don't have it with me right now, a similar case was heard in the state of New York, and it was stricken down. So there are so many similarities that we expect that the same thing will happen for the state of Illinois. So no, it is the legal system. Not being a lawyer and a farmer, I do not understand the process of which lawsuits seem to travel, be heard the next day, and why others take years. But it could take up to 2 years.
I mean, I think that people listening right now, our friends and neighbors that live in the state of Illinois who are so incredibly frustrated by this, they feel motivated to do something about it. And I think that, as far as the state legislature goes, you've served in the House and the Senate in the state of Illinois. There are super minorities of Republicans in that body of government that is supposed to most closely represent the people of Illinois. How important is it for Republicans to gain a voice in our legislature in the state?
It's detrimental to the future of our state and our nation. Even though we sometimes think and seem to have a voice, then there's this mindset of weak-kneed Republicans, just kind of setting back and turning these positions into careers, and that is equally as dangerous. And I think that, for the listeners out there all across Missouri and across Illinois, the most important aspect of this is that we, the people, need to, develop a relationship with our elected officials. We just because, if I'm a Republican and I have a Republican state rep, state senator, or congressman, we cannot assume that they're doing, the right thing, because the bureaucracy of this entire mess sometimes lends itself to not necessarily corruption, but for people to kind of sell out on their values. But even in areas, running for governor the last 2 years, being up in Chicago in the high populated area, Annie, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of good Second Amendment loving people up there. And unfortunately, our voice is not heard because it's not heard. Sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and people fail to run for precinct committee person. People fail to show up at the town halls. People fail to, step into the elected official's office. And when they're there and question, hey, why did you do this? Or even maybe, admonish them for, hey, thank you so much for what you are doing. And that process is not really, it's really non-existent. And until we, the people, engage and understand what is taking place, only then will we be able to turn the tide of, I believe, this dangerous direction that our republic is headed. So it really is. There's a lot of this that still resides in the hands of the people, but people throw their hands up. Oh my, I'm just one voice. It doesn't matter. And that alone is our problem.
Well, we appreciate you for speaking up at that Caseyville hearing, and we'll keep in contact with you as this progresses, because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about it, and certainly a lot of anger as well. Just the direction this state has headed has been very anti-constitutional, and it's unfortunate that in the state of Illinois you just don't have the same rights that Americans in the other states do.
That is right, and I just encourage anyone listening to stand firm on the Constitution, stand firm. So.
Thank you. Darren Bailey, always love talking to you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Former,
Bye-bye.
former state senator for Illinois' 55th District. You can find him online at baileyforillinois.com, on Twitter at Darren Bailey IL. Good to talk to him. Let's take a quick break. A postponed Wiggins America right around the corner. Get Ryan in here. He said he's going to tell us some, what did he say, like money-saving tips?
Yeah, he's got some stuff from Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Some
Okay.
just little tips you can do to save money.
I like hearing that it's from Kevin O'Leary. I would say this, and I will say this when Ryan comes in here. He's one of the, I don't even know if frugal is the right way, cheapest people. I don't mean that in a negative way. I would just, well, I'll see if he agrees with that statement. Yeah. That'll be the first thing I ask him when he comes back. But then he's going to give us some Mr. Wonderful savings advice. I love a good money-saving tip. We'll see what Wiggins America has in store for us when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
So put me in the ground and put me 6 foot down and let the stones say here lies the girl who's only.
Shopping for flooring this holiday season, dip yourself into igotfloor.com or one of the 3 locations for Michael's Flooring Outlet and start figuring out how you can just really renovate and transform the space in your house that's got the old, worn-out flooring. It's time to replace it, and you want to make sure that you make the right purchase. Shopping for flooring becomes more and more exciting when you start to really, in your mind, visualize what this new flooring is going to do for your home. Maybe it's for your commercial place of business. Maybe you're the purchaser or the decision maker to finally get that carpeting out of the waiting area or the exam rooms or the office space, and you've been looking to make a real smart transformation. Michael's Flooring Outlet can help you with that as well. Go online to igotfloor.com and click on Request an Estimate, and they will be able to provide you the information you need to make an educated buying decision. If you're looking for the Smart Strand Mohawk Silk carpet line, if you are looking for a Revwood Select and Plus flooring line, they can help you navigate whatever it is that you're looking for, options that can help enhance the product you're getting, like a stronger, solid pad that's going to go under the carpeting, and the warranties that are going to come with the different types of flooring that you purchase. All of that information by the best customer sales staff in the business. You can find them online at igotfloor.com.
I'm a pilot, martial artist, mountain biker, hiker, The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. And now that I wear the inserts all the time, I'm not feeling the pain. They're comfortable to have in, and it's uncomfortable not to feel them in my shoes because I know the positive effect they've had. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call now 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway in Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeetstlouis.com. Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Enjoy comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. And Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Have you ever wondered how America's most successful people build their wealth? By investing in tax liens. And you can too. The Tax Lien Code Masterclass is coming right here to St. Louis, where you'll have the opportunity to learn the same simple blueprint that tax lien investor Brian Peterson and his partners have used to purchase over $40 million in tax liens. With tax lien investing, you can earn government-secured double-digit returns on your investment as high as 30%. And that's just the beginning. Listen, if you've ever been interested in real estate investing but weren't sure how to get started, this is your chance. No prior experience needed. For 2 free tickets to the 2-hour Tax Lien Code Masterclass right here in St. Louis, text EARN to 26022. Hurry, with high demand, seats will fill up. Text EARN to 26022. Get 2 free tickets now. Text EARN to 26022.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee, if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
So the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll of the day: will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? Yes or no? It's an off year, but there are elections, so will those serve as a bellwether for next year's elections? Let us know what you think in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. The time right now, 1:46. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Connect with the personalities and give your feedback. 97.1 FM Talk is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For content that's additional to the radio, join us there. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Chemicals, mama, I'm sure all the hand and I just around.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
To answer your question, Annie, I've always embraced the idea of being either frugal or cheap.
If I said, Ryan, you are the cheapest person I know,
I've always said, oh, that's fine. No big deal. However, more recently, as a grown man,
which happened recently, said the 50-year-old.
No, I have been examining, really, is it that I'm frugal or cheap? It's that and I've always been this way, it's that I really just want to beat the system. It's really not about...
Does it ever cost you more money to beat the system than just being with the system would have afforded you?
In my youth.
What about...
when time was
18 months ago at Disney World?
Now.
Or whatever that was.
18 months ago.
That was like... Was that Christmas when you went with your kiddo?
That was last year.
Was that when
we went to
when you're
Universal
like,
last
I
year.
should book this trip? When would be a good time to go? And you're like, how about during the election?
Oh, yeah, that was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, that was obviously.
Was that the one that went awry?
The election or the trip?
Yep. Yeah, maybe we blame you for all of it.
That trip, yeah, oh, yes, I know what you're referring to now. No, that wasn't that trip. That was later when we went back. Just me and my son went back.
That was a different trip.
And I bought Disney tickets from some random Craigslist guy.
Ryan was telling me emphatically, I got a guy. And I'm like, you don't have a guy. Get
And
your
you
money
were-
back.
You were correct.
Didn't I kind of beg you not to do it?
Yeah, but the problem is I had just a couple years ago had a guy for Universal tickets, and it was awesome. It was true. I got in for real cheap, and I had like the full fast pass thing on my ticket for less than $100. It was great.
How did the Disney thing work out?
Not as well.
Is
That guy.
I felt really bad for you, even though I did tell you shouldn't do it in
Yeah,
the first place.
you should feel bad for me because I got robbed.
Yeah, you did.
Like,
I mean,
it wasn't-
literally robbed.
It wasn't just, I should have thought through things better. It was that, and also that guy robbed me.
Mm-hmm.
I paid him, and I got all the checks and balances that I went through. He was able to rob me of one adult ticket, but I still got the kid ticket. That's what's weird, is that I still was able to get something out of it because I wasn't
He's saying the same
totally
thing.
stupid, but I was stupid enough to take a shot, and the guy burned me. So, yeah. Anyway, I try to beat the system, and sometimes the system beats me.
Sometimes the system shakes it out against you.
These are ways to save money, according to Kevin O'Leary. He is from Shark Tank. They call him Mr. Wonderful.
Is this on Fox?
No, I actually have to look back and see where I pulled
Is this
this
just
from.
your personal communications with him?
I think this was just from Yahoo. It was just like a random. Yeah, Kevin. Kevin, I
Someone we
need.
had coffee the other day. I just wrote some stuff down while we were chatting.
Kevin, I'm really into real estate. You know, I've got a house.
He's actually reading this off of a napkin right now.
If there was an amount of money, I would give my working car to watch Kevin O'Leary spend a week trying to mentor Ryan.
Oh, that
Ryan
would
would
be
be like,
the
no,
best
no,
thing
no,
ever.
no. Let me tell you how this works.
I would also give your car for that.
Yeah. You can have the Explorer.
He said, no.
It's radiatorless
He says,
until I give it to David to fix it because he's the mechanic extraordinaire.
"What are you, an idiot?" That's how the article starts. So
Okay.
I wanted to just go with that.
When an article starts like that, do you assume that by the end you're going to feel like you were an idiot, but maybe won't be any longer?
No, I just get super offended.
Okay.
Oh, no. Kevin O'Leary says people are wasting 15 to 20% of their income on stupid stuff. And he starts with the most obvious one that I'm disappointed in him, actually, because he gets into some good stuff here. But the most obvious one that every single one of these people says is the same thing. You buying coffee every morning?
Mm-mm.
That's what he says. And he says it's costing you. He says stop buying coffee for $5.50. And I'm thinking, well, too bad, because if that one's stupid to you, then there's a whole lot of stupid people out there, because that
Well-
is the best thing about morning.
I understand that mentality, and I think it's right. I justify it by saying it's my breakfast.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
right.
It's not just a cup of coffee. I know I can make a cup of coffee at home, but it doesn't taste like Scooters makes it.
It's true.
And I consider the extra shot of espresso in my latte, I should be able to write it off. Because if it's 1:52 and I'm yawning, if I'm bored by my show.
You're not just saying this on the radio.
No.
I've seen this happen to
Yes.
you at this moment.
Yes, I'm like, I didn't have coffee today.
Yeah.
Entertain me.
My wife says the same thing. We've tried, let's say, change the budget up a little bit, have a little bit more expendable income. Let's do coffee at home. Both of us are like, it just
No.
doesn't taste as good. It's not as exciting.
It makes me so happy.
Yes. It's like, I get to go get coffee. It's just like a happy thing
Start
for your
the
morning.
day off and right. But he's right. If I wanted to save money, I would be able to save money by that.
Yes. He says, now this is number 2, kind of similar. He says, look at your food away from home costs, which he acknowledges have climbed considerably, 6% since last year, according to latest consumer price data. Inflation has cost everybody in every way. But this is one, he says, in comparison, food at home costs have only gone up by 2.4% since last year.
What does he think about harvesting your own meals on the way to school in the morning?
He didn't say.
I know
But
that
next
I
time
drink
I
my
sit down with him-
coffee at Scooters every morning, but did you hunt down your breakfast mate on the way to school and then skin the deer yourself? Well, I didn't, but my husband did.
I think he would say that that's fantastic.
Except it cost you a car.
Yeah, I don't know if it really works out.
Ooh, yeah.
And a lot of happiness, which I'm sure Kevin O'Leary is super concerned about.
Yeah, he doesn't care about your happiness.
No.
He says you go to work, you spend $15 on a sandwich. What are you, an idiot?
That is true, though.
$15 on a sandwich.
You know, I'm not really willing to sacrifice the coffee, but making your own lunch and looking at lunch as I need to eat to get through the day, as opposed to this is an experience. I think it's different depending on what your job is. You can save a ton of money doing that. In our family, we work very hard to eat full meals at the table, at home, every time we can, so that if there is if you don't eat out, you are veering from the process. So it's not part of the norm.
Right. Yeah, he says he cites a video conferencing company that says that
Brad just yawned.
people spend $31 more each day when they work from the office compared to working from home.
Man.
$31 per day. That surprised me a little bit. I'm going to jump ahead to a couple of these that I think we all probably are doing some of. He says, buying good clothes. He cites his mom. He says, my mom every year would buy one good Chanel jacket and didn't buy the junk, and so she had to buy a lot less of it.
Buying higher quality fashion that lasts longer instead of the crap that you buy for cheap that shrinks the second that you put it in the laundry, or it falls, or it is degrading the way the quality of the material is. I completely understand that, but it's also not practical for some people.
Right. Yeah. It's also easier to just go quickly buy something that you need than shop it and make sure, oh, I'm getting a really good pair of jeans here or whatever. Do you do this? Are you a cheap shopper, expensive shopper?
No, I'm an expensive shopper. I only have a couple pair of jeans. And
Once you find your jeans, though.
Yeah, once you
kinda
find
can
them, you
just
just
keep
know
doing
to
it.
go get them, yeah.
Yeah. He also recommends you save about 20% of your income and invest it in the market over 20 to 30 years. So obviously, if you're younger, you can do this. If you're older, it's going to be harder. He says if you get a return, which is average of about 7%, you're going to retire with over $1 million. Actually, he said $1.5 million bucks in the bank if you save 20% of your income, although that's a lot to ask.
Is the last thing on his list vote for Trump?
Let me see here. No, he just yells MAGA.
When you, okay.
What are you, stupid?
Well, that's
MAGA.
weird, yeah. Wasn't expecting that last page there. He just says MAGA, MAGA, MAGA 24. Okay.
Wouldn't that be on? Shouldn't that be on the list?
I mean, all these economic conditions are caused by bad policy.
Seriously, I mean, I don't say that to be like, let's get our red face paint on and go to war so that I've said this a million times and I will beat this drum through the election. You're not going to elect your politician to government and then solve all the problems. We need to be solving a lot of these problems ourselves in the midst of crap government like we have right now. But it does help to send people who actually have the America First mentality in place so that American demise isn't like on the policy sheet for the Biden administration, which it is. And I know some of you are going to be offended by that, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah, you're not going to solve all your problems, but you can definitely keep a lot of your problems from actually happening to begin with. You can stop new problems from being created.
The Democrat Party is repulsed by the phrase "America First." Think about it.
They use it as a slur.
Yeah,
it's like you're MAGA. Like, what's wrong with a great America?
And it's ironic that America First is the way we serve the world the most.
It's true, and we've seen it. Never a greater example than the last 7 years. Kevin O'Leary's had an open door for a lot of interviews, and he hasn't exactly gone out and yelled MAGA, but he has been saying things.
He's talking with the people who do.
A lot of open doors with like CNBC and stuff.
Which is like a wink, wink,
Right.
nod, nod. He's not cheap, is he?
Yeah, he is.
We'll be right back.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how long your money will last? Are you also sick of worrying about losing your life savings in the next market crash? I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. Let us build your own personalized structured income plan, which will show you how much income you can receive in retirement, but more importantly, it will show you how long your money will last. Stop wondering if you have enough to retire comfortably.
Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategies you won't hear from your broker or banker. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping our clients retire with confidence for the past 37 years. Let us help you. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
I was in my office today thinking about, I got this Fountains Family Dentistry live at 158 here. And different angles to talk about these things. And the one that popped up today, I'm watching TV. There's a dentist that came on who I had visited in the past, in the distant past. And they were so unfriendly, and they seemed to really dislike each other in that office. It's one of the reasons that I highlight what a great experience it is to go to Fountains Family Dentistry, because that has never happened there. Even when I go in the office and they have a receptionist who may not know that I'm friends with Dr. Ty Parker, they're still just very pleasant people, and you're going to have that experience too. I guarantee it. Rebecca, I love reading these testimonials too, says a very friendly staff who provide great service and feedback. It's not usually pleasant to go to the dentist, but I enjoyed my experience today. Helps to see a friendly face. Encourage you to go to the East Side for your dental service, especially if you live there. Fountains Family Dentistry is the name of the office, fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Friends don't have to agree on every issue. Elisa Brady, Fox News. That from the White House after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu suggested Israeli troops may be in Gaza indefinitely.
I'll let the Prime Minister speak to his comments and what he meant by indefinite. President Biden's been very clear we don't support a reoccupation of Gaza by the Israeli Defense Forces.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says healthy conversations are needed about a post-war Gaza, but that it agrees with Israel there can't be a return to October 6th. 1 month since the October 7th terror attack in Israel, the Israeli military says its ground forces are now fighting in the depths of Gaza City. Health officials in Gaza say more than 10,000 Palestinians are dead, including thousands of civilians. Netanyahu says thousands of Hamas fighters have been killed. There have now been 40 attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria since October 17th, blamed on Iran affiliates, and they have continued after U.S. airstrikes on 2 sites tied to Iran in Syria. Kirby not ruling out more.
If and when we decide to respond again in the future, we'll do it at a time and in a manner of our choosing. We will absolutely take the action that we need to take. The President, as Commander-in-Chief, will order that action to protect our troops and facilities as he sees fit.
More than 40 U.S. service members have been injured in the drone and rocket attacks. No word yet on the identity of an armed man taken into custody by U.S. Capitol Police this afternoon. The suspect had a gun in a park outside the Senate office buildings and was captured after a foot chase. It's Election Day for many Americans, with 2 governors seeking re-election in Kentucky and in Mississippi. Republican Governor Tate Reeves.
We believe that we're going to be very successful here today, and we believe that we're going to win this thing outright.
He's up against Democrat Brandon Presley, a cousin of Elvis. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
At Simply Safe, our 24/7 lifeguard protection helps stop crime in real time, because during a break-in, every second counts, and these days, every dollar counts. Right now, get 50% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. It's U.S. News and World Report's Best Home Security of 2023. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The jackets stay in the closet on this Tuesday afternoon. Keep them in there on Wednesday. Partly sunny skies today. It's a warm afternoon, 79 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, only going down to 60 degrees. Wednesday, sunny, windy, and warm near 80. Here comes cool front Wednesday night, partly cloudy, some showers, 52. And Thursday, partly sunny skies, but some rain showers around Thursday and 59. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Thinning hair is normal, but it doesn't have to be your fate.
Once I started taking Nutrafol, I could visibly see my hair get thicker.
Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Paid for by Nutraceutical Wellness, Inc.
I want you to visit ClassicKitchenRefacing.com on the internet right now. Go to ClassicKitchenRefacing.com and see some of the stunning renovations that they have done to those kitchens across the St. Louis metro area for so much less than doing a whole kitchen remodel. When you go to Classic Kitchen Refacing, they are going to show you how they will completely reface your cabinets instead of replacing your cabinets and give you that brand new look, that modernized look that you've been hoping to achieve, and bring your whole kitchen together with beautiful Cambria quartz countertops, really great highlighting backsplash to tie everything together, all the way down to the details of the hinges on your cabinets and the pulls on your cabinets to make sure that everything in your kitchen is exactly how you wanted it, modernized, beautiful for incredibly less. Visit Classic Kitchen Refacing in St. Anne. Go say hi to the folks there. Tell them the Annie Frey Show sent you and start the conversation to find out how much you can actually save on your kitchen remodel. This is a really smart move for those people looking to upgrade the kitchen department. You can call them at 314-739-1730 or, like I said, online at ClassicKitchenRefacing.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan. In celebration of McKelvey Homes' 125th anniversary, we are having our biggest sale of the year. Save up to $89,000. Get special financing in the 5s and free closing costs on all move-in ready homes. Visit The Preserve on McKenzie Road near Watson. A beautiful community with 4 lakes, nature trails, and wooded home sites. We have a variety of homes from the 400s, including our villa and estate homes. Don't miss this opportunity to save big and get in before the holidays. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family. Available at Walmart and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Onder Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Critical thinking in critical times. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Everyone is welcome. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're happy to be with you today. It is an election day, so pay attention to those local elections should you have them. I honestly don't know the specifics of what's going on in Missouri. I'm sure Mark Cox and Mark Reardon have covered them quite a bit. I don't know that we don't have anything in Illinois to vote on, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a non-issue here, but it's very, very impactful in states like Kentucky and Ohio and Virginia and Mississippi. Those are the ones that are going to be having a lot of those big elections, those statewide elections like governor. So we're going to watch and see what materializes tonight. I'm excited to see what kind of results we get. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election, yes or no? If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel where we're broadcasting live right now, go vote in the live chat portion. The poll should pop up right there when you select live chat. I think it's over top comments or something like that if you're on your mobile.
Yeah.
And vote and tell us what you think in the comments if you so choose. There are several key races that Fox News is certainly looking at. I think a lot of people who want to know politically who are outside of the state what's going to happen with that Mississippi and Kentucky governor race. Virginia voters are electing a state legislature in total. That's kind of wild. Fox News says those races split between Mississippi, Kentucky, and Virginia will likely give the winning party a spark of momentum as it prepares to battle for control of the White House and both houses of Congress in 2024. I don't think it can be overstated how much the Joe Biden candidacy is tanking right now. And I don't think that it shouldn't come as a surprise to people that this is happening. I think the surprise is that people are talking about it out loud. Here's Sarah Silverman on The Daily Show.
Let's kick things off with the reason most of the people in this audience could not sleep well last night. A new poll shows Joe Biden getting trounced by Donald Trump in almost every single swing state. Don't panic. It's still too early to say Biden will definitely lose. He could absolutely die in his sleep instead.
Sarah Silverman saying something like that, does that indicate to you when everybody starts talking about the troubles that the Biden portion of this ticket is facing? Is it about to be a realization here? I said this on the air. I don't think he's going to be the president I think he's going to be out of the picture on the ballot by December, by Christmas. Did I say he wasn't going to be the president by Christmas? I think I did.
Ooh.
Or did I say
this Christmas?
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, man. I do think, recently, though.
I think they're going to, I think he's got to step aside completely.
Well, that's what David Axelrod said. He said, now's the time. I mean, if you're going to step aside, you need to do it right now, Mr. Biden.
And in total,
as I've said for like a couple of years now, the issue is not, for him is not political, it's actuarial. And you can see that in this poll. I mean, there's just a lot of concern about the age issue. And that is something that I think he needs to ponder. Just do a check and say, is this the right thing to do?
The age is not the issue. The performance is the issue. If, let's just say that Joe Biden was enjoying the peace and prosperity that Donald Trump did for the first 3 years of his presidency, if Joe Biden was enjoying that peace and prosperity right now, people will be talking about how great he is for his age. It's the delivery. It's not the age. The age in and of itself, while not helpful and possibly contributing to the disaster that is the Biden administration and its policies, it's not the age. And it is a cop-out to suggest that it is. If you replace Joe Biden with another Democrat who wants to enforce the same type of policy positions that the Biden administration has, it's going to result in the same disasters. You can't swap out something that is spoiled for something that's half the age and still spoiled and expect it to be fresh. It's not going to change that way. I think it's kind of crazy to look at what some of the people are saying. Sarah Silverman there. How about Senator Fetterman?
Now there are two additional Democrats running for president right now. One is a congressman from Minnesota. The other one is the governor of California. They're both running for president, but only one had the guts to announce it.
Is he okay? Is Senator Fetterman okay? He's saying a lot of quiet parts really loudly. for the Democrat Party right now. And I've got to think that there are side eyes firing at him from all points when he walks through a room like, what are you doing? And we've been saying it on the other side of the aisle. What are you doing, Pennsylvania? Why did you send him to the Senate? But alas, here we are. And when he says that the governor of California is running for president, he just hasn't had the guts to announce it yet. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't have that follow up with the answer to what it means. It's an honest question.
It's honestly something that I'm sure everybody's asking behind closed doors, but they're like, John, don't make other people ask that question. And you wonder if he was, if he was not filtering himself there, because everybody's talking about this. They're just not doing it publicly.
Do we want to listen to this?
I'm listening to it right now.
And?
She's saying no child has to live in violence or should live in violence. And
Cori Bush is sitting right behind her right now, representing St. Louis, where every child is living in the shadow of violence, and she ain't worried about that. Turn it on. Let's listen to it. Rashida Tlaib speaking.
I urge the president to have the courage to call for a ceasefire and the end of killings. Thank you, and I yield.
Okay, that's enough.
Well, we caught the end of it.
She's urging for a ceasefire and the end of killings. Okay, so let's just gameplay this out, Miss Tlaib. We stop Israel from firing at Gaza, and the killings just magically stop.
Forever.
Yes. She's like a Muppet on Sesame Street, spreading love and joy to the world.
It's really nice, though, that none of us had thought of that.
No, everybody thought of that, and everyone's like, that's a dumb idea.
It's so ridiculous because, like, I know I've said this before, but if Hamas would lay down their arms, you would have a Palestinian state. If Israel lays down their arms, you have a Holocaust.
A Palestinian state.
Yeah, right. Rashida Tlaib.
I was not prepared to have that outburst.
It's just amazing that she is a U.S. House representative.
It's not really, though, if you saw her district. She is very representative of her district.
I'll give you that.
But, like, holy cow, she's crazy.
Did you, by any chance, run this comedy sketch? Oh, you played this on the air yesterday?
We played a little clip of it.
I was going to say, did you run it by the powers that be to make sure it was okay? But you've already aired it on this show, so...
It was not the full thing.
No.
No, I'm just wondering. Did you?
Run it by the powers that be?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll move on from that then. Back to the races in this election. So we've got the governor in Mississippi and Kentucky. You've got a state legislature in Virginia. We didn't really talk much about it. We did mention it. The Louisiana governor flipped decisively from Democrat to Republican, which was kind of ironic. It was right before the election happened on Tuesday. And was that right? On Thursday, we had the Vitae Foundation event with Al Robertson and his lovely wife. And they live in Louisiana. Their family's in Louisiana. And they flipped that race, not specifically the Robertsons, but I think that they held. And they got a Republican governor with over 50% of the vote. Just to think that would happen, because they could go to a runoff, because there are 3 people in the race. To think that that Republican candidate would win emphatically to get the majority of the votes when the incumbent was a Democrat, I think that means something. But anytime you have these elections where it's just one election and you get a lot of attention on a specific, maybe it's a ballot measure or a specific race, if it's a special election, you think about the 2 Georgia senators that, man, if we would have done that one correctly after the 2020 election when they both went to a runoff and both Republicans lost. When you look at something that is so isolated from the grand public having to look at all of their own things, maybe you dip over to look and see what's happening in Georgia, or you dip over to see what's happening in Pennsylvania or Missouri or Illinois. When the less elections there are, the more that we can see special interests and money getting involved and being influential. I think that these elections are going to be very interesting to see tonight because there are more of them. It's not just one state and one race where everybody's, trying to make a big news story out of it. it will be interesting to see what happens. The YouTube live chat poll is, will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? I'm a yes. I think that they will. And I think that they will expose weak spots for both parties, and both parties will have to estimate if they did enough to build from and grow from mistakes that they've made before or territory that they haven't traversed yet with early voting for Republicans. They've really got to get that in control. Fox News reports in Kentucky, voters will determine whether to re-elect incumbent Democrat Governor Andy Beshear to another term or replace with the Commonwealth's Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron. Beshear remains one of the most popular governors in the country, but has expressed support for the Biden administration, while Cameron has leaned heavily on former President Trump's endorsement. Voters in Mississippi will have a similar choice as Democrat Brandon Presley, the second cousin of famed rock and roll legend Elvis Presley, which now is fodder for political resume, seeks to oust incumbent Republican Governor Tate Reeves, who is also backed by Trump. Reeves won the governorship by just over 5% in 2019, but Democrats have poured large amounts of money into the race and see it as a potential flip opportunity. Virginia's voters, according to Fox News, must decide which party they want representing them in both houses of the state legislature. The Republican-controlled House of Delegates and Democrat-controlled Senate both have narrow majorities. So lots of consequence in what takes place tonight. I'll be following it along as the results come in. Ryan, you think that the elections today are going to be a bellwether for the 2024 general election?
I generally am a no on this question, just because I think in Virginia, you're talking about, it's not really a referendum on Biden or Trump so much as it is a referendum on Youngkin, and he's a different type of conservative. So I would say no as a bellwether to that one. And the same kind of thing with
What
Beshear.
is different about Youngkin? You say he's a different type of conservative than Trump.
Approach. I mean, certainly he tries to paint himself certainly as a much more moderate voice. He's trying to pass a 13-week vote or 13-week ban on abortion, or at least a stopgap right there. And he's saying, well, this is a compromise. You know, I think he's trying to cast himself in the middle much more. And with a policy like that, maybe you would call that moderate. With Beshear, I think, again, we're talking about a governor who it's more about his version of being a Democrat than it is Biden's, even though they're trying to, the opposition is always trying to tie it nationally. Cameron's leaning on the Trump endorsement. I get that. But I still think these are more local elections that will reflect their states than they will national.
Brad?
I am probably going to say yes. The more I think about it, the more it's like, yeah, this is going to give us an idea of where the electorate is right now in this moment. And I haven't seen anything from the Biden administration that says that they're going to change course on anything that they're doing. So whatever they're doing, they're going to continue to do, and it's going to continue on the path that has been going, which is not in a good direction. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a bellwether.
The voting right now is so incredibly close that you need to go cast your vote on this poll on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Right now it's 49-51. So
Wow.
Your vote is going to make a difference. So go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel in the live chat portion of today's live broadcast and tell us if you think that today's election will serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election. And leave us a comment, and we will feature some of them as we wrap up the show. Info says, regarding the poll, in his opinion, any election shows how the feeling is of the voters at the time of the election. Some experts say that Trump being elected in 2016 is blamed on Hillary's problems at the time. Amy says, I'm going to say no, since even though there are a few major issues in some states, it's an off-season election, low turnout, not enough to indicate. And Dirk said, chose no, not enough going in to indicate any impact. And I'll do Katie's here. It says, yes, we can learn from every election, and each election affects the next. Let's see what happens in Virginia and Kentucky, then determine what did and didn't work to get red team wins in those states. Let us know what you think. Leah is watching your comments come in, and she's going to set the good ones aside. So let us know what you think about today's election and their effect on the 2024 election. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Don't knock on my door, 'cause I won't come. I'm hiding from the storm till the damage is done.
Ruler Foods is a smart place to shop right now while you are looking to save money where you can. Ruler Foods will help you save money every time you grocery shop. If you're looking for one close to you or close to church or your workplace, go to rulerfoods.com, type in your zip code, and you will find that they are scattered all over the bi-state region. Right now, Kroger 73% lean ground beef is sold in a 3-pound roll at $3.66 a pound. They have strawberries that are 16 ounces or a pint of blueberries just for $1.99, and their produce is fresh and delicious. We eat it in our house regularly. They have a Powerade sale right now. 28 fluid ounces or sparkling ice, 17 fluid ounces, 88 cents. Bar S. Franks, those are delicious, 88 cents as well. They have General Mills big bag cereals for $5.99. Jack's Pizzas, 2 for $6. Kroger, ready-to-serve soup, 2 for $3, and the list goes on. If you're looking to save in your grocery bill as you're moving into the holiday season, I want you to make sure that you shop at Ruler Foods. If you haven't given them the opportunity to earn your business yet, just drop by without the big grocery list just to check it out. You'll see how well organized and clean and easy to shop your local Ruler Foods is. Don't miss another opportunity to save money on your grocery bill. Shop at rulerfoods.com.
Football and basketball seasons are in full gear, and BetQL is ready to help you win more consistently this year. BetQL is an absolute game changer if you're looking to find trends to help you win. Make smarter bets on spreads, totals, player props, and more. BetQL has already helped over 300,000 people with powerful analytics and community insights. Don't fumble the ball at the goal line or airball any free throws this season. Visit BetQL.com for their free daily analysis today. That's BetQL.com.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 and thousands of music options, plus millions of podcasts are all on the free Odyssey app. Download the app or tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 and it comes up automatically. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Beautiful day outside. Almost 80 degrees.
Crazy.
You like it?
No, I don't. Not this time of year. 80 is a little much.
What about you, Brad?
I like the warmer weather.
You'll take it?
Yep.
I'm okay with the seasons. But I always prefer warmer weather, but warmer weather late in the season just feels like a lie. It's like, oh, here's a reminder of what's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is not. It's November. I want to be able to wear long sleeves. I wore long sleeves anyway, and I feel stupid for it because when we walk outside, I get hot, like a dumb idiot.
That's why you feel stupid.
It's the only reason. Yeah, when I walk outside, I'm like, well, I'm a dumb idiot.
Just take your shirt off, then you'll feel great.
Okay, done.
Please don't.
How about we just open that window and I do it?
That's all right. Press yourself up against that warm sun.
Yep, I'm just sunning myself like a dog.
It wouldn't be the weirdest thing to happen in that park today.
No. If they looked up and saw that, I think they would probably
just steal one of the KMOX signs from down the hall and put it up in the other window.
We opening our pools again.
Is that Tom Ackerman? I only say Tom Ackerman because he pulled out of his parking spot today while I was sitting in my car. I see him once every other week while I'm doing my makeup in the car.
Uh-huh.
I wear more makeup for the YouTube stream than I like to wear in like real life. So I don't want to be out and about wearing a full face. I just don't prefer it. And I take it off when I get in my car. But I'm always sitting out there and I always see the certain people passing. And I'm always like doing my eyeliner. Hi, Mr. Ackerman.
Was he pressed up, his chest pressed up against the window?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that's why you're connecting that.
No, not Tom Ackerman. Are you kidding me? He'd never do something like that.
Well, maybe nobody's ever asked.
Mm-hmm.
Let me text him.
I came across this article and I wanted to discuss it as a parent, and I'm curious what your thoughts are, Ryan, also as a parent, and Brad, you are a youth pastor. So I'm wondering how this materializes among the three of us here. But CNBC did a story, and it's called "The Number One Thing Parents Are, quote, completely forgetting to teach their kids today," according to a parenting expert mom. And I have strong feelings about this, and I'm going to read to you a little bit from the CNBC article by by Eva Moskowitz, is the author of it. She says, as the founder and CEO of Success Academy Charter Schools, I've spent decades working with parents and educating students from underserved communities. I'm also a mom to 3 kids. Many parents put a lot of focus into teaching their kids about cleaning their rooms, acting responsibly, and doing homework. These things are important, but there's one thing that many of us are completely forgetting about: how to enjoy life. Sure, that seems like one thing kids do naturally, but many happy children grow up to be unhappy adults. There's a difference between enjoying life as a young child and being prepared to enjoy life as an adult. And then it kind of goes into consumerism and how advertising talks about how, if you buy this thing, you'll feel this way. If you buy this service, you'll gain happiness and so on and so forth. So there's consumerism that's involved in it. But I was really kind of thinking about this as a parent, and it's been a focus of mine to try to, in my house, we just call it playing hard. Like, we work to have maximum fun at all times until you step outside of the boundaries. And then, as my kids would say, I would bring the heat.
Okay.
So here are the expectations. These are the responsibilities you have as a person who lives in this house, as a human being, to be a good human being. These are the ways you behave. These are the responsibilities you have. And as long as we're living in that space, we try to have a lot of fun in our house. I mean, we play tricks on each other in fun, and we teach each other to be on the receiving end of somebody playing a trick on you that is a harmless trick, and have fun with it, not take it too personally and be too sensitive about it. And those are things that you do within a household that work well sometimes and don't others, and then you have different conversations about that. But just the idea and the foundation of happiness for children, I think, is an interesting discussion to have, because what we as adults often think about making us happy is not what makes children happy. The thing that, in my opinion, the thing that children want most is my time.
Mm-hmm.
And that is at a premium. There are a lot of people who want my time, Ryan. There's a lot of people who want your time. As a parent, you get pulled in a lot of different directions, and you have to constantly measure out time as almost a commodity. And you have to ask yourself, like, are you working your kids into that, or are you working everything else around that? It becomes difficult, which means I end up telling people no when I want to participate. If for instance, I don't schedule events when my kids have sporting events. I make very rare exception for that. One of them was the Night of Rock Stars, and I hosted the Night of Rock Stars to benefit a charity, of which I did not make anything. I donate my time to that. It's a wonderful cause, and I encourage people to check it out and participate next year. But it was something that I chose to do instead of going to a volleyball tournament that my daughter played in on a team that I coach. And it's a big challenge to choose to spend my time somewhere else. And to me, there's like only a few opportunities where I get to take that away from my kids. They are the priority. But I think that the societal happiness right now is through things, not through time spent. And I really feel like teaching kids to be happy with themselves in life, it really starts with trying to take away the materialism of our world.
That the only reason I'm nodding is because some of my kids, I don't know if this is like this in your house, some of my kids seem to get this and some of them don't. And the ones that don't are, man, it's hard because they do enjoy life. They love Christmas. They love birthdays. They love making lists about things that they want. And I don't want to discourage that. It's fun. But I also want to teach them, I think we do a decent job of this, teaching them really eternal values, and that satisfaction, maybe not happiness, but happiness coming from satisfaction, comes from having priorities that are eternal rather than temporal. And that's kind of the consumerism thing too.
But that's a huge concept for a kid.
Yeah.
That's something that a kid will believe in, but not necessarily understand.
Right.
That's not the here and now. And I subscribe to that completely in my house. But like at 7:00 at night, after your kids have had a long day, and you're trying to work them on the way to get to bed, and you're trying to negotiate what that's going to look like, and you're like, think about your eternal home. They're not like, okay, Daddy.
No, we do that.
I guess I should take some tips from you. I mean, you have it. You prioritize it as foundational to everything else you do. And you always hope as a parent that when you build in that foundation and you continue to every day put bricks into that foundation to make sure that it's solid and firm, that when they do grow older, that their priorities will be very strong so that during times of unhappiness that they'll have that to grasp on. I completely agree with that. But the moment by moment, the play by play of raising children today and the immediacy of satisfaction is a very difficult thing to compete with when it comes to teaching kids to be genuinely happy with just themselves. And I would imagine, I don't know what your experience is, Brad, but you work with youth as a pastor. It feels to me like kids are prone to be, depressed is a big word, but in that general direction, like that's kind of the default status for youth today because they're inundated all the time with you should be like this, you should look like that, you should feel like this, you should be empowered like that. And they're doing all of these things in an internet-based social media world, which we didn't have to grow up in. It's just so rapid and fast.
I don't know if depressed is the right word or anxious is the right word. What I notice with kids most of the time is a lot of the kids never, ever in their life have ever had to deal with a struggle where they had to overcome something or a difficulty. A lot of the stuff in their lives is basically they're told that they are entitled to this, they get it, and it happens. And they didn't actually have to work for it. And their parents made sure that every possible thing that was in their way that could have hindered them from achieving that goal or that whatever that is, they didn't actually have to overcome any obstacles doing it. They just kind of walked in that direction and then they got that achievement. And what kids have not learned, and this is why I think people go into adulthood, they haven't faced that adversity and they believe that everything in life is as easy as they experienced it when they were a child, and then they get into the real world and they say, oh man, things don't happen. You hit a deer, your car gets broken, and all this other stuff.
Dad should have taught you how to be a mechanic.
Yeah, your dad should have taught you how to be a mechanic.
Which is funny because Jared's dad is really good with small engines. He's fixed our lawnmower like 7 times after it was engulfed in flames.
My dad never taught me how to skin a deer.
You need to meet Mr. Frey.
I guess so.
Yeah, he knows things.
But you have to like give the kids, allow the kids to learn the skills. Is like, oh, I didn't achieve what I set out to achieve, but then they learn too that that's not the end of the world, and so then you don't have that anxiousness about it. And Annie, you talked about this too. The most valuable thing to your kids is your time. There's a memory that pops into my head that I will never ever trade, and I would never trade it for the world. And it's I got a chance to. My grandpa was in his 80s whenever I was in junior high, but I got a chance because he played baseball and he would always tell me these stories, and I got a chance to play catch with him. And I will never forget that moment. I will never forget playing catch with my grandpa because up to that point, my grandpa was in a mobility scooter. Mm-hmm. It took him a lot of effort to stand. I mean, he was a farmer. He worked his body to ruin. And it was at that point in his life where he didn't have anything left. But he's like, I think I can stand up. He's like, hey, give me that glove. And we played catch. And that amount of time just to be able to spend, I wouldn't trade that for the world. And you have that with your parents. And you know, that's where that contentness and life comes in is like, man, you're not going to have everything there. My grandpa passed away when I was in high school, and I can't do that. I don't have any grandparents left anymore, and I can't do that anymore, but I have that memory. That's something that I can hold on to. And it's like, it's not the races or the race car that he bought me when I was younger. It's not any of the material things. It was the time that I spent with him. He bought me a race car, but the best part about that was going to the races and him teaching me how to do certain things. And we were, working on the car with him and my dad and watching all this stuff happen and being there. That was what was great about it. It wasn't the material things. It was always just the time you spent with them. So
I don't think that I don't think our experience of growing up in the 80s and the 90s is the same as what kids are dealing with today in any way, shape, or form.
It's not, but that doesn't mean that it can't be.
No, it can't be. Our kids today do not get to understand what it's like.
There's a lot more comparison, I think, now than when we were younger, because you have self-comparison, and even from the parents too, that, I want to try to do this with my kids for like video games, for instance. We've really limited video games in our house. You just can't do it forever though, because that's the culture. Mm-hmm. Like the kids, they want to go out of their friend's house and play video games, and they don't want to be left out and be the worst kid there.
So you have to figure out how to implement those things in a healthy way that doesn't doesn't conflict with what your priorities are. And I mean, we've talked before. I know how to play Fortnite. I'm not bad at Fortnite. I'm not great at it. I'm playing on a Nintendo Switch, which I've been told puts me at a disadvantage.
A little bit.
But I think, whatever, I'm not going to get into that. For my kids that wanted, my older two specifically, who wanted to play video games because their friends were playing video games, when it came to playing, a video game that involved shooting guns, we told them that they were not allowed to play a video game where they were shooting people until they understood what shooting a gun actually meant and understood the capacity of an actual firearm. So we told them they had to shoot a real gun before they ever shot a video game gun. And they don't have to shoot the gun. Like, that's not something we're going to force you to do. But if you want to do this, you have to understand the impact. And of course, in a safe environment. But I don't have to explain that to people because it shouldn't be implied that it's not a safe environment. I think it's important for them to understand those skills. And they became interested in learning how to do that. And they have a respect for that and a knowledge about it that separates reality from what is on a video game. And I think that that's incredibly important. But what is the most important is that it's something that they don't do apart from us, that they actually do it with us. And with our 7-year-old, not our youngest, but our second youngest, we will, when we sit down, we'll play like Mario Party with her, and she gets to participate with us. So I don't want it to be, they don't have any devices in their rooms. They don't have any televisions in their rooms. They're not going to, not for as long as, like, at this point, it's not going to happen. Do I reserve the right to change my mind at some point? Sure, I do. But we have so many easy avenues to say, get out of my hair, go watch TV, go play video games, go make TikTok videos, go away and do your thing. And then the kid gets happy that they have this access. But it ends up, I've seen this in children, and I've read it in news stories. You provide them this, it's almost like a wormhole, a porthole to this whole different world that you don't exist in because it's being done in private. It's unhealthy. And I really think that in 20, 30 years, we're going to look at this generation of kids we're raising in the wild, wild west of social media and realize that we made a lot of mistakes. I'm really kind of worried about it.
Yeah, which is why on a show like this, we have this discussion, because everybody's dealing with this stuff. Everybody who has kids, anyway, is dealing with this stuff or deals with kids in any capacity. You're asking these same questions, and how do I navigate it? And you feel guilty because you're probably not doing it perfectly.
No.
Because there is no perfect.
And each kid is different.
Yeah, and each household is different. Like, your rhythms are going to be different. But you got to have your rhythm, and you got to at least approach the question.
I've talked a lot about how my kids don't have phones. We have 2 extra phones that I have upgraded from that we activated so that we could have a home phone if my husband and I were ever gone and there was a sitter or something like that. And we allow our oldest 2 kids to use those phones. Like, for instance, we were in a volleyball tournament this weekend in Springfield, Illinois. So we were gone, and the team, they communicate on a group chat the whole weekend. So we will allow our daughter to have that phone during the weekend so she can be a part of the conversation. If we didn't, she would be excluded from that conversation, not because they were treating her a certain way, but she just wouldn't be able to participate.
Right.
And she has shown us to this point that she can handle that responsibility. There's no chat, there's no Snapchat, there's no internet that is being utilized there. And we will offer my son the same thing, and we are adamant about going through things and looking at things. But I even know that that's a risk. We come home from the volleyball tournament or the baseball tournament, the phones come back to us. They don't go to school with the kids. They go nowhere with our kids. They might not check that phone again for a month. Maybe they'll ask, hey, can I text somebody and see if they want to go to the football game on Friday? We're like, sure, you can do that. And that has been part of the evolution of our no phones thing. But it will always be, I will always lean towards no with exceptions.
Yeah, portals, wormholes is a good term, because the world used to be, even when we were kids, out there.
Yeah.
It was out there. Now the world is right there.
Working hard
To get at you, too. And some of it's fine, but a lot of it's not.
Yeah. And the more access the world can get to your child in the more private of the environment, the scarier and scarier it gets. Anyway, CNBC says we need to teach our kids how to be happy. And they actually agree with that. We need to key in and focus on the intangibles that make us happy and also provide that happiness to other people by spending our time with other people. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Will today's election serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? Wavy says, I said no because this is an off-year election. 2024 will be about the president, with possibly two very flawed candidates as our choices, which will change the dynamics. And Dems are going to use abortion again. What do you think? Let us know. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Air Comfort Service is online at aircomfortservice.com, and you can talk to them about your HVAC needs, your maintenance concerns, and make sure that you are not going to get confronted with any very expensive repairs or replacements because you didn't keep up with the maintenance necessary on your HVAC system. But if you have all of that stuff in order, you've got a good HVAC unit in your home, and it just seems like it's not heating the way it's supposed to be, you need to check your insulation in your home. And Air Comfort Service can help you with exactly that. Does your home always seem to be dusty? Is your HVAC system running constantly? Are your utility bills really high? If you answered yes to any of those questions, your attic insulation needs to be evaluated. You can reach out to my friend Corey and the team at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation and figure out if this might be the issue in your home. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. Make sure that you aren't in that 9 out of 10. Call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. And ask them to help you with your insulation concerns. AirComfortService.com.
Hi, it's Guy from the Good Feet store. Listen, if you've been suffering with knee, hip, or back pain, I've got news for you. The problem may be right under your nose. I'm talking about your feet. Think about it. Your whole body is supported by your feet, right? So if they're out of alignment, that could cause issues, not just in your feet, but your knees, hips, even your back. The Good Feet system helps put your feet in your ideal position. Once you do that, everything from there on up just might work better. I'm sure you've been frustrated trying all kinds of things to relieve a foot, knee, back, or hip pain, but maybe the solution was right in front of you the whole time at the Good Feet store. Just stop in and meet with one of our specialists who will personally fit you with the perfect arch support system. They'll let you walk around, try it for free, then you decide if they work for you before you buy. How great is that? Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations in Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeetstlouis.com. Find what you've been missing at the Good Feet store.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now, get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/sips. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now only at bartesian.com/sips. That's BARTESIAN.com/sips for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/sips.
A natural gas leak can be found almost anywhere, even if you're out for an evening stroll in the neighborhood. An important safety tip from Mango, the Missouri Association of Natural Gas Operators. If you smell gas, act fast. Leave the area, go upwind, and from a safe location, call 911.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, visit mersgoodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Will today's elections serve as a bellwether for next year's elections, general election? Now, yes or no, let us know. We've been talking about it throughout the show, but we're about to give you the results here in just a minute. You can sneak your vote in if you want. The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. The time is 2:51. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
CARAFANO.com. The Mark Reardon Show.
Joel Griffith, he is a heritage scholar at the Heritage Foundation.
We've had decades where young adults have been brainwashed, not just to hate their own country, the United States, but they have also been trained to embrace Jew hatred.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold you.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I'm just a girl, a little lonely. Well, don't let me out of your sight. Oh, I'm just a girl, already empty. So don't let me have any rights.
Not only do we need to make sure that we elect someone who can win and beat Joe Biden, we need a president who has the skill and the resolve to reverse the madness that we see every single day. We need someone who will fight for you and win for you. We need someone who won't get distracted but will stay disciplined, who puts this country first and not himself. That leader is Ron DeSantis.
You wonder what Donald Trump did to Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. She has endorsed Ron DeSantis in Iowa. I don't think that's inconsequential. What's your prediction, Brad, on what percentage of the vote that Ron DeSantis gets in Iowa?
Total. Let's go 43%.
What do you think, Ryan?
I'll say 25.
Big
difference.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It could be he could get 50% of the vote. He could get 5% of the vote. I have no idea.
That's his state. I mean, he's going all in on Iowa, so he's got to win Iowa. He's got to get over 50%. Oh, no, he doesn't, because there's multiple candidates, so he's just got to have the plurality.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, 40-something percent would be resounding.
Right.
Because you know that if he's getting 40, let's say that Ron DeSantis gets 46% and Donald Trump's going to get 45%. I mean, that's probably how it would shake out. People were talking about Nikki Haley kind of pushing through. I don't know. I just don't feel like Iowa is Nikki Haley territory.
No, especially not with DeSantis. I mean, this endorsement is actually a pretty big deal in the way of the non-Trump vote. Because if you're looking to consolidate around somebody who's not Trump, that's where an endorsement like this really does come in handy.
Yeah, I would think a Nikki Haley would have more success in a New Hampshire or maybe one of the Carolinas naturally, but
somewhere less heartland.
Yeah.
And I don't say that as a disparaging comment towards Nikki Haley. That's just kind of the way I see it. I don't really think endorsements are all that big on the whole. I think that a Donald Trump endorsement is very consequential. And I'm saying that, as is everything with Donald Trump, it is a bipolar experience. So that might solidify it for you. Donald Trump said he's good with me. But it also works the other way. That's Donald Trump's candidate? No, can't do that. That's part of the ultra mega crowd, which is how those people talk. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, will today's elections serve as a bellwether for the 2024 general election? We have almost 200 votes in. 53% of you said no. 47% said yes. So you're pretty divided over this. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. You think it's going to be a good night for Republicans, Brad? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good night for Republicans.
Who's going to get the Kentucky race, Republican or Democrat?
Ooh, Kentucky. I'm going to say Republican.
Ryan?
I'll say Democrat.
Oh, gosh. I should just ask you first so that you actually have to think about it.
Right, yeah, I was just going to say whatever.
Instead of saying the opposite of Brad. I'm hoping for Cameron. I hope he can pull it off. We'll watch and see, and we'll have the results for you here tomorrow on the Annie Frey Show, along with 97.1 FM Talk. You can rely on us to be St. Louis's home for conservative talk. You have made us that, and we are incredibly grateful for it. Stick around. The Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
I'm not a man. sweetheart.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. On this Tuesday afternoon, there is controversy, apparently, over the leak of the Nashville school shooters manifesto. We're going to cover that. Plus, it's Election Day. We got that covered as well.
The Retirement Advisory Group is online at retirementkey.com, and you can reach out and see exactly how they can help you prepare for retirement at anxiety-free, worry-free retirement by calling them to set up a free consultation. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. If you're nearing retirement and you wonder how long your money is going to last you, if you're going to be able to have the retirement that you've always hoped for and dreamt of and saved for, you need to contact Thomas Helbig and the Kershaws at the Retirement Advisory Group. If you're worried about losing your nest egg in the next market correction, you need to make sure that the Retirement Advisory Group can help you build your own personalized, structured income plan, something you can rely on, something you can count on. That's where the Retirement Advisory Group comes in, and they've helped many of you folks out there already. Why not make the call and be the next? 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494 online at retirementkey.com.
Hello, I am State Treasurer Vivek Malik. There is a program in my office that allows you to save for your loved one's education. The Most 529 program helps families save for K-12, college, trade, or technical schools. Contributions to most 529 accounts grow tax-free and are eligible for a state tax deduction of up to $16,000. Celebrate this holiday season by giving to your child's education. Learn more at MissouriMost.org.
Sponsored by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-238-7360. That's 314-238-7360, or go visit